They have, bro. We've been on one.
We've been on some sick ones. Some absolute sick ones. Not hot ones.
Sick ones.
Not to be confused.
I'd be down to be on hot ones. Do you think you could eat all the hot sauces on hot ones?
I would have to. It wouldn't matter if I thought I was capable of it or not. If I decided to go on the show, there's no way I would bitch out. Like, even if it sent me to the hospital, I'm gonna.
I mean, of course, but do you think like?
I think that I would probably because I've watched a good amount of episodes at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I don't know what people's like spice tolerances is like are I guess, but I feel like I would probably start to have a hard time at like 4 or 5. Like halfway through, I feel like I'd probably start to be like, oh fuck, this is intense. Because like obviously I've eaten hot shit before, and I like spicy shit. Yeah, man, I've eaten hot shit before.
You like spicy shit, bro?
I like spicy shit. But yeah, tons of spicy food. I love spicy food, but that's just a different level. That's not just like spicy for the flavor anymore. That's spicy to like kill your taste buds.
Yeah, there is a certain point where the spice becomes less about the flavor and more about just how hot your taste buds are getting.
I have heard that like some of those higher, like, what do they call it?
Scoville?
Yeah, the Scoville rated ones or whatever do taste pretty good. That like they do at least make them taste good. But I feel like you just have a hard time concentrating on that when it's like
I feel you.
Fire.
I'm always down for a good like habanero freaking sauce. Like those are pretty bomb. Like I think habaneros are pretty fucking fire. They are spicy, but
the other time I really like spice a lot too is when you go to ramen.
Ooh,
like getting some good spicy ramen is always good too.
Yeah. Some good like Eastern spice and shit like that, you know.
Delicious.
Delicioso.
Delicioso.
Yeah, but what is up, everybody? You already know what it is. And if you don't, if this is your first time,
hello.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Thank you.
What's up?
Hello.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Hello there.
Hi.
Hey. Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, guys, if you don't know what this is Too High for TV, where two guys get too high and talk about a little bit too much TV.
Maybe.
This is episode number 96. Ooh. So shout out to all the homies that have been keeping up from the beginning.
We're closing in, man.
Shout out to Vanessa. Actually, again, did you see her throw us up on her story?
No, I didn't.
She did, bro. I don't think it's up anymore because it was like yesterday. Okay. And I think she might have posted it the day before, but I was just looking on I was on our Instagram.
Yeah, dude.
For the show.
She's the homie.
And I was like, I got a message. I was like, what? And I like looked and it was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like put you in the story, like, do you want to repost? And it was just literally like a clip from when from last episode when we were like, oh, shout out Vanessa, blah blah blah.
Hell
blah
yeah.
blah.
Nice.
And she put my favorite podcast, and I was like, there we go, we're someone's favorite podcast.
That's right. I like to think we're like at least a few people's favorite podcast.
Hey man, we have 12 reviews on Spotify.
Pretty good.
And we're rated 5 stars.
Pretty good if you ask me. Pretty fucking good.
I mean,
if you ask me.
Like yeah, I think that's, we're batting 1,000 right
we
there.
Are
12 for 12.
Not missing, dude.
Yeah. Granted, are those 12 people probably people that we know? Most likely.
Doesn't matter.
But it's all good.
It's not information.
But it's okay. They could just as easily rate it like 2 stars because it's anonymous. Like I don't know who's rated it, right?
I like to think too, for the most part, that like the people in my life don't just gas me up like that. Like I do think we're pretty good at what we do.
I would like to believe so as well.
So, and I think that the people around us can appreciate that. I don't think they're just trying to like gaslight us and thinking we're
Shout
good.
out to the people.
Shout out to the peeps.
But there's people on YouTube, man. I see all you guys watching our videos and stuff like that. But a lot of you are not subscribed, which hurts my fucking soul. I'm going to be honest,
What are you doing?
When 90% of you guys aren't subscribed.
Don't you want to know when new videos go up?
That's pretty fucked up.
Come on.
Like, yeah, I don't.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. Hey, come on.
Come on. Maybe if enough people subscribe, we'll do like a giveaway or something.
But yeah, guys, just hit that subscribe button. On YouTube. We got our episodes dropping every single week, every Friday.
Yep.
Sometimes on the weekend if schedule conflicts happen.
Sometimes on the weekend.
It sounds like a good song, dude.
Yeah.
And I post reels every single freaking day. There's a reel going up every single freaking day. So a little taste of our show every single day.
Every day.
But I have been seeing them circulate the YouTube algorithm.
Those
recently,
have been good, man.
Which I've been down for.
Yeah, those have been good.
Heck yeah.
They've been coming out real good. I like them because I think you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job in general, obviously. But one of the things that I like is that they cut off at the right moments. because it's like right when like either you or me is starting to get going on something, and then it's like it's gone. Go check out the episode.
I've been like, not to suck my dick, but I feel like I've been getting better at just like hearing like those moments, right? Where I'll just sit there and I'll be like, I'll just skip through the episode.
Yeah.
And I like hear something, and then I hear like where the ending should be. I'm like, all right, boom, cut it there. Yeah. And then I go back, and I'm like, all right, where should I start? And then cut it up. But yeah,
works good.
But yeah,
works. And it builds that like interest. It's like, ooh, I like where this conversation is going. Guess I have to go check out the rest of the episode to hear what happened.
Exactly. So if you guys like what you see on Instagram, if you guys like what you see on YouTube, if you guys like what you're hearing on Spotify, if you guys like what you're hearing on Apple Podcasts,
save, share, subscribe. Hit all those. Exactly. You know what the things are. Do all the things.
Post us on your story. I'll repost that shit.
Absolutely.
I'll freaking leave a comment on our freaking post, and I'll comment back.
There you go.
Will it be a nice comment?
Depends. Depends on you.
Did you comment something nice in the first place? Actually, no. I'm a kill him with kindness type person.
Nice.
I'm not gonna get in a back and forth.
I'm not gonna do that on the internet, but I will do that in real life.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing on the internet. Sucks. It's really
dumb.
annoying,
yeah,
and it's
dumb.
just like a waste of time. Honestly, it is fun when you're in it, but then I feel like you look back at it afterwards, and you're just like, this was no good. I don't even know this person.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but I'm an arguer in real life, though.
Yeah,
I'll get into it.
Oh, I'm more of just like, like whatever, bro. Like cool.
Bygones be bygones.
Cool,
kind
brother.
of guy.
Cool, brother.
I appreciate that. I respect.
Hey,
that.
brother. Tuesday. Have you seen that full sketch? He's like not a new streamer, but he is a streamer that's like
on the up and up.
On the up and up right now.
Okay.
And he's freaking hilarious, bro.
He's like streaming games and stuff like that?
Yeah, he streams like Madden, and he does like a bunch of other shit. He's just fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah. He has like these little like hand ticks that like happen, so he's always just like
doing little things. People are doing it now, I'm
exactly.
Sure.
And he's just like, dude, he has these like one-liners and shit like that. Like he was doing like a stream with someone else. I forget who it was. But he was like, I steal from the homeless, I take from the rich. Robin Hood, Robin who? I'm in your hood, robbing everybody.
That's funny. That's good.
And, he's just a fucking funny guy, bro.
That's
like
funny.
He has like does like family friendly like streams or whatever.
That's cool.
And he'll like cuss and he'll be like, sorry for cussing. Family friendly. And he like does this. Tuesday.
Family friendly. That's funny.
Dude, he's I definitely highly recommend you checking him out if you like want like a good laugh, because he's just fucking funny, dude. He's super animated. I think that is something that streamers need to be. Like there needs to be like a personality for someone to tune into. Yeah.
Otherwise you're just watching gameplay.
Exactly. And like anyone can do that. But like he's a good one. Jinxie's another one that's like coming up. He's pretty fucking hilarious. I like when he does like his Rainbow Six Siege, like people send him like clips and he reacts to the clips. Yeah. And again, he's just super animated. He fucking does this shit where he like rolls his R's where he doesn't like need to. He'll be like, good aim. That's fucking good aim right there. Like shit like that. And it's just fucking funny, dude. Like I enjoy, like I love the evolution that streaming has gone through. Like it definitely used to be just like people with personalities, and then it turned into people that were like good at games, and now it's kind of like crossing over, like people that are good at games like also tend to have like bigger personalities now, you know, like someone like a Nick Merckx, or even like a Tim the Tatman that's like not really good at video games, but he's just like a good personality to tune into and listen to and just have a good laugh, you know.
You can get both. You can get the best of both worlds. But I feel like it's also like everybody's just really good at games now. I feel like it's kind of crazy. Like there's times where I can hold my own still and I feel all right, but like when I start watching people online, it's crazy. But it's also because like kids have like an Xbox 360 or no, that's old. Sorry, I flashed back really hard right there. Sorry.
And I was here like,
I was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
but you know they got an Xbox One or whatever it was when they were like 7, and they've just been playing it forever, you know. And then those kids are growing up now, because I feel like a lot of the streamers that you see now are like younger people, right? They're like 20 somethings or whatever. Yeah. So I guess that's like our generation too, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Everybody's just really good now, and it's kind of a bummer sometimes.
Yeah, I've definitely had to switch the type of games that I play to
I can't
more
play
just
competitive stuff anymore.
No, I'm just mainly more like RPG, fucking
Yeah.
like, you know, shit like that.
Yeah, RPG. I'll do like single player games pretty much all of the time. I have recently gone into like co-op stuff. Helldivers is fun.
I'm down for some Helldivers,
Helldivers
because
is
it's
cool.
it's just like it's like zombies, you know, like
it feels like
you
more
don't-
advanced zombies.
You don't need to be like hella good,
No.
you know. It's just something where
just
like
need to
when me, you,
survive,
and Nate
bro.
played, like
Yeah.
we're just sitting there like fucking vibing out, having a good time.
Yeah, just trying to survive.
And I was surprised at how good I was kind of doing for my first time playing fucking Helldivers.
No, you're solid, bro.
I was down, dude. I
We
was hitting my dives and shit like that.
No, we dropped in on some heavier like challenge levels too for like where you like just starting and everything, and you held your own, bro. You did a good job.
I was down when like both of you guys were dead, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
and I like went, and I dove through like two fucking robots or automatons or whatever. And I was like,
Calling fucking
thank God.
stratagem.
Just freaking running. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that shit's like that's like another level to like a video game that I didn't know like I really wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
But then once you have it, like it's just an added layer. Like I'm so used to just like, oh, spam shoot or spam melee or do all this shit like that. But when it's like, oh no, you have to do
Input
left,
the
up,
button.
down, right to freaking call in something. I'm like, oh, okay. It feels more rewarding when you do something
for
like
sure.
that.
It's such like especially like on the like PlayStation controller, it's such like a tactile thing. You like feel the little vibrations when you throw the stratagem and stuff too. It's it feels good, bro.
It's also, I feel like I'm just like working out like another part of my brain that like hasn't got worked out like in a long time.
Like not because you can memorize them too. Like I know like players who are serious who play a bunch like have a bunch of the stratagems memorized already. Because like, I mean, to be fair, my memory's just bad. It's not really that hard. It's just 4 directions and like certain combos. It's like remembering combos for like fighting games, you know. But I can't do that. That's not me. It's just a little bit too tough.
It's just like I have to just connect the like, oh, left means like left. Like I don't necessarily like, I'm not looking at my controller all the time and like,
it's like hand-eye
I'm hitting
coordination.
left on the D-pad. I'm hitting right on the D-pad. I'm like, oh, I'm hitting this arrow. I'm hitting the down arrow. I'm hitting the up arrow. Like those, like the down and ups are obviously easy. It's the left and rights that I have to freaking like.
Is that hand-eye coordination or is that hand-brain coordination? Because like technically it's still your eyes, but it's not like there's like a thing physically coming.
It's
at
hand-eye for sure.
Okay.
Because I mean, you're looking at it, and you're not
translating
like
that.
You're not like looking down at like you know
yeah.
you're translating it. It's like, oh, left, right, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's super fun. It just feels right. I don't know. It's like all these years of calling in kill streaks and calling in this and care packages and all this stuff. It just like feels good to like manually do the little and chuck it down.
Yeah, there's like a different layer of satisfaction that I don't think other games have like tapped into yet. Or like, I mean, obviously each game has its different like little special thing that makes it special, right? And that is the Helldivers thing, the little combinations that you have to hit.
It also just helps with like the pressure too, because like when you're in the middle of like a heavy situation and you need to like call your buddy back in, or you're like trying to like do the objective and there's like hella terminids or some shit like swarming you, it just makes it all that more like gotta get the button combo right, like pew, 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 and then you get it, you turn around, like blast some homies really quick,
and then you gotta throw it. It's not like it's not just enough for them to like, oh, you got the combination right, cool, you got the combination right, now you gotta chuck the shit. And I wasn't getting that like the first couple times. I was just like doing it and I'm like, where's my thing, bro? Where you guys at? Come back. Dude. And then I think Nate was like, oh, you gotta throw it. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
It's great too because they like took it a step, because like there's the one
shout out to Nate.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun playing. That was a good time. But it's cool too because like those are like the respawn ones, right? But then you can also obviously call in like airstrikes and stuff like that with them. And I love that they even took it a step further because like if you call in your stratagem and you're I don't know if this happened to you or not, but like if you call in your stratagem and you're holding it and then you get like hit and knocked down, you drop it. And it goes like wherever you were. So like you have to be careful about them. They're like live grenades and shit. Like you got to chuck them before you get hit. Like, because it's also got like team killing activated in it, which might sound like a drawback, but I would argue it makes the game more fun.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
There's times where it's just goofy as fuck shit of like, fuck, my bad, bro. Like, or like you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time and you get like hit with the airstrike and it's just fucking funny.
You throw a grenade, it blows up your homie.
Yeah, exactly. It's just funny.
I think my favorite thing that happened is when I called both you and Nate back, and I was running away from these 2 bugs. And you're like, just drop us on them, drop us on them. And I was like, all right, dude, this is my first time playing. I don't know if this is gonna fucking work out. And it actually worked out perfect.
No, that was
I
pretty
dropped
epic.
both you guys on, and me just watching both of your like redeploy fucking
the pods, bro.
The pods just dropped down on each of the bug. I was like, damn, that was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was pretty fire. That was one of the coolest things I saw in Helldivers so far, dude. Yeah. No, it's cool. It just, there's a lot of opportunity to like make those cinematic Michael Bay moments, but like in real time gameplay. Like you're just the one doing it instead of it being like a cutscene or like a quick time event or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's super fun.
I liked that video I sent you and Diggs of the dude sitting there playing Helldivers, and he has like all the fucking eye makeup on and shit like that, and he has the 2 fucking like, I don't know, the sashes of fucking bullets, and it's just like
the bandoliers.
And he fucking throws the napalm. He's just like
No, the Helldiver memes are awesome, dude. It's honestly, it's a because that's not even to speak of like the ongoing like narrative thing that they have going on too, which is like another trippy thing that I've never seen in like, I mean, it's a horde shooter, but it's also kind of like a live service game too in that sense, but like the best way to do it, because they're like dishing out more like, it's not like story, right? You're not getting like new cutscenes or anything like that or whatever, but what's cool is it's like, because like there's another part that I'm not sure if you've like tapped into or not yet, but basically, so like there's like these mechs in the game, right, that are like Gundam suit mechs. Like you jump in them and it's like the Matrix, like you have rockets and fucking machine guns and stuff. But in order to unlock them, the Helldivers community as a whole had to take back a factory planet that was overtaken by the automatons. Oh, damn. So like everybody had to go in and like play enough rounds on that planet to like liberate it. And then once that happened, you unlocked access to it. Damn. And there's like more and more shit like that happening. But it's cool because like it just gives like, I personally have a hard time staying on games like this and Call of Duties and Halos and stuff at this point now, because like I want story in my games, or like something to look forward to. And when it's just like match after match after match, and then like you start to level up to like where you're not really getting a lot of new shit all the time anymore, like it kind of bores me a little bit. So it's fun, and it's keeping me around that they have like this, like it's like, it feels like a war. It feels like an actual like galactic war where like shit's happening, and like on the fucking Terminid front, this shit just happened. Now the automatons are closing in on this blah blah blah. It's cool. It's crazy shit.
It's crazy when I'm like scrolling through Instagram and I see like blog pages or blog-esque pages. I don't know if you can call them blogs, but like you know, blog pages that post shit about Helldivers.
Yeah, like what's happening.
Like, and I'm like, holy shit, like this shit is like cutting through like the pop culture fucking
big time,
like or like the zeitgeist, like in real time. It's just like boom, and I'm just like, holy shit, like why is No Jumper posting about fucking Helldivers? You know,
I think also too because it's speaking the modern language of like pop culture, which is heavy sarcasm. Like the game is hilarious. I think it's genuinely funny, which you wouldn't expect to hear from like, again, like a live shooter game. Like when does that actually have good writing in it? But like they're funny, bro. Like some of the jokes crack me the fuck up, dude. They're hilarious.
It's very like self-aware, 100%, you know. And I like that it plays on like this like nationalism type type shit,
heavy duty democracy.
Everyone's just like, for democracy,
for super Earth,
democracy fills my cup.
Dude, like, it's
that
fucking funny, bro.
Fucking hilarious.
And it's great too because like one of my favorite parts of the game is, and I have to imagine they were self-aware in this decision as well, but Yuri Lowenthal plays the voice actor for like I think 2 or 3 of like the male options, because you can pick your voice, right? And it's Spider-Man from the fucking PlayStation games, and so you just hear like Peter Parker yelling out crazy shit like kill them all or like chase those bugs down, like crazy shit, dude. It's fucking funny, bro.
It's fun, dude. It's definitely like one of the most like some of the most definitely like some of the most fun I've had on like a new game. You know, like I will have fun on like the Apexes and like the Fortnites and the Call of Duties when I like play with the homies, because it's like it's playing with the homies, but this is like different because 1, you're playing with the homies, and 2, it's just so immersive, and it's just something different that I personally haven't seen in like a mob shooter in like a long time. You know,
it
like,
feels very unique.
I grew up like playing zombies, so I guess it's not like the most foreign to me. Like, you know, in zombies you did have like the lines from like Dempsey and freaking all the different characters, which was funny.
Yeah.
But I think this like tying into just the whole theme of the game is just fucking hilarious. Yeah. Because it's funny in zombies when like they yell out some like fucking
crazy
random
shit.
like crazy shit.
My favorite was Nikolai, bro.
Yeah.
The Russian dude.
Yeah. But like I don't know, like this type of shit that's so like on the nose, and I think just like also speaks to like just the nationalist like ideals that some people can have, and like taking it to the extreme, I think is fucking
because it's
fucking great.
It's making fun of it to like a heavy degree, which is awesome, and I think it makes it easier to play because it's like, I don't know, I feel like there's been waves of like shooter games like this going through stuff, right? Like when they first came out, it was very like fantasy, sci-fi, crazy shit or whatever, and then the Modern Warfare started happening, and the conversation was like, oh, are like shooting games getting too realistic or whatever, right? And then they like pivoted hard to make things like uber realistic and be like, this is truly what like happens, and you have to like not kill civilians anymore and all this crazy shit. But then I like that this came out, was like, fuck that, this shit's funny, bro. Like, this shit's just crazy.
Like, just having fun, like, having just, like, legitimate fun in a fucking game, you know?
Yeah, it's just fun.
Like, I'll have fun in a Fortnite or a Call of Duty, but it's fucking frustrating when I keep dying to fucking 12-year-old fucking snot-nosed little kids that don't do anything but play Call of Duty.
Exactly.
And when I can just go and unplug my brain and shoot some bugs and shoot some robots and call in some airstrikes and fucking use a flamethrower.
It's awesome.
What more
can you ask for?
I can't ask for much more, honestly. I really can't.
It's a good time, man.
It's a great time.
Just wait till you get to the higher difficulty levels. Then it starts becoming a stressful game. I don't really like playing it up high. I know you have to like advance further and rank up and stuff like that, but it gets like way too intense.
I want a mech suit, bro.
The mech suits are cool. You have to level up a lot. I only got to use it because after that thing that I was telling you about, like everybody got them for free for a little while because like they just liberated the planet or whatever.
What level do you have to get a freaking mech suit?
I think it's 25. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, the game to me is pretty grindy. I feel like it does take a while to level up. Like, or at least just from what I'm used to from like other online shooters, I feel like in Call of Duty, like Call of Duty's famous for like making you use default classes until you hit like level 4, right? And I feel like most of the time in CODs, I can like hit that in like 2 or 3 games. Yeah. And then you're just like into making your classes and leveling up your guns, right? Versus like this, I feel like it took me forever just to get to like level 5 even. Like, I feel like it's pretty slow, the XP gains.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many games we played, but by the end of that, I was barely like level 5.
Yeah. So,
and we played a good amount.
Yeah, we played a cool few hours. So like, it's also just like longer games too, I guess, you know.
I also enjoy like it being objective based and also a horde shooter. You know, like gives you more to do than just like, okay, I'm gonna fucking run around in a circle and I'm gonna fucking kill these fools. Like, no, we gotta go do this and then we gotta go here, and we only have fucking 30 minutes to do all of this, you know?
Yeah, I was talking to my coworker about it today, and he was saying like, and I was tripping out because it's like it's like zombies, but when you were doing the Easter eggs, like you remember like the crazy convoluted like it's like that shit, but just made into a full game. Like that's what the game is now. It's like go launch this missile or go tear up this base or go fucking do this or that or whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like what zombies is moving into like right now, because like in the current Call of Duty, it's like
same shit kind of.
Yeah, it's like open world type shit.
Oh, whoa.
And
I haven't played in a long time. The last zombies I played, I think, was like Black Ops 3.
Oh, that one was fire.
That was pretty good.
This one's like, it's okay. Like, it's not terrible. But it's like, you're basically in the Warzone map, and the Warzone map is just like has hella zombies. That's cool. So there's like different things that you can do. Like, you pick up contracts and you go do this and you go do that and you get points. So it is like pretty fun.
That's cool.
Because like it is like a different type of zombies, like at least like, you know, when we were growing up, like it was like round based. You got like, you still like get your money. It's not round based, but like, you know, you don't really have to worry about like opening up doors and doing all this shit. It's like there's 3 different zones, and like the first zone, the zombies are super chill. The second zone, they're harder and have like armor and stuff on that. And the third zone, they're just fucking
ridiculous,
insane. So like There are certain times where you do have to go to the different zones to get the different tiered like pack of punches and stuff like that, because there's like a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, and they cost a different amount. And then you have to go into the different, like the higher tiered zones just to get like schematics for like wonder weapons and stuff like that. So it's cool. Like that's cool. You can pull a wonder weapon from the box, but if you go and you get a schematic where if you exfil with it, then you can go into another game, already have that schematic, and just like build it, and then you have
you're
it.
Good to go,
and you're
that's
good
cool.
to go.
I like that. You know what I want that I was just thinking about right now while you're explaining that is not now, but in like 10 years when Call of Duty is probably still kicking.
Oh, dude, it's never going to die.
Yeah, but in 10 years when they have run out of Modern Warfares and Advanced Warfares, or they've rebooted and we're at Modern Warfare 3 all over again, I want them to just make, it'll probably still have to have the Call of Duty tagline in it, but I want them to just make a game called Zombies.
Yeah.
And what I would love is give me like a blend of the old school gameplay where like parts of the map open up to you, but make the maps way bigger and make them linear so that you have to move through them in one direction and survive. And then just put the story that was hidden in all the Easter eggs as like the focal point.
Dang,
like you're actually just playing through everything that was like in the little voice memos and like notes that you would read and shit. Like all just voice acted. Bring all the original cast back. Give me Richtofen. What's his name? Takeo, I think, right?
Takeo.
Yeah. Takeo, Dempsey, and
Nikolai.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or Richtofen. Richtofen's the German guy, right? Did I say him already?
You said Richtofen.
Oh, okay, yeah. Give me the original 4, bro. Like, give me them. Take me through the whole thing, starting back when, like, because I think they did, like, Origins later, which was, like, the first time they met.
Yeah.
And then everything, like, catches up.
The first link up.
Yeah, bro. That shit was crazy. That story is honestly crazy cool. Is it ridiculous and, like, over the top? Absolutely. But it's awesome. It's, like, one of the coolest zombie stories in my mind. Like, for sure.
Honestly, as zombies, that was pretty, I think, underrated. And I think looking back on it, I think Advanced Warfare was pretty underrated.
Oh, I never played that one. I played Advanced Warfare, but I didn't play this. I didn't even know it had zombies.
It had zombies, and I think just what made, like, me going back and watching gameplay of that game and what made it so unique and actually really cool is, like, the lateral movement.
Yeah, because Advanced Warfare is more of like a movement shooter, right?
Yeah, like you have your jetpack and you can fly up, you can go up and down definitely, and you can run forward and shit. But like being able to just like boost to the right and boost to the left,
just dodge horses,
is crazy. It like that really like widens like the skill gap of like players that are pretty decent to players that are like really fucking good.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I remember that being like hella fun in zombies, just like flying around and boosting and like getting out of that shit. I was like,
that sounds awesome.
I was down for that shit, honestly.
Yeah, I need me some good zombies. I used to be a zombie fiend, bro. I would play endless rounds. Like
I used to play in the morning before school and shit.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that.
it was so fun, bro. It was so crazy.
Getting ready and like pausing the game and then like coming back and like before I had time, like just
get as many rounds. Dude, I remember I may have told this before, so if I have, stop me. But like the highest I ever got on like a zombies match before, I was playing with Carlos and Diego after school one day. My cousins, shouts out to the old zombie crew, Nate and Chris and all them too. We used to just like take turns in pairs on like the local mode. But this was we were playing online, and it was me and my two cousins, and there was this map called like, it wasn't called High Rise because that was like
Die Rise.
Yeah, I think so, right? Where it was like the skyscrapers.
Black Ops 2 or something.
And it was like all the skyscrapers. They had like the weird bubble gun for like the super weapon, right?
Yes.
So that map, we were playing on that.
That one's fire.
That one is cool. I like that one a lot, actually. I think all of those maps are really good. The other one I really like from that like DLC packs was the Western Town one.
Oh, yes.
That one was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Die Rise, right? We're fucking playing some rounds after school. I think we got to like a cool 12 to like 16 or something, you know? Like things are starting to heat up a little bit, but like we played a lot of zombies back then, so that was like more than manageable. We were cool. But they had to go to basketball practice, and I did not. So, so the homies are getting off, right? Have to log out, and they go, Daniel, don't fucking die, bro. We'll jump back into the game when we get back from practice. Just stay alive, keep playing. So I say, all right, bet. And I fucking went for. By the time it was over, they came back. and by the time and played like a few rounds, but by the time it was over, I had made it to like round 70 something.
Holy shit.
Like 72 or 73 because
and you're like sweating doing that shit too.
No, okay, so here's what sucks. And this is the one thing that I do remember is that like the old games came out on obviously older hardware, so they were less capable of like just loading like there was a select number of things that they could load in the game before it would crash. So after a while, I realized this back in like the Black Ops 1, I think, whenever it was the original fucking Kino der Toten, the classic map, right? Which is like they had this thing where they load they spawn in a certain amount of zombies, and then that's it. It's like even on the higher rounds, like there's large crowds of them, right? But at a certain time it just stops. Like I think like 50 zombies or something like that. Like the game just can't have any more. So like you literally just cheese it and you don't try to shoot anything. You just run and keep dodging and keep moving and keep surviving until you have that horde or close to it. And then you turn around and you just blast them with the super weapons. And like that was just the strategy, right? You just train them. But like after a cool minute of getting that down and like getting the map down and shit, it honestly got like kind of whatever. Like it gets a little boring after a minute because you're just running and like turning around and doing it. But at that point I was just like, nah, I told them I was going to keep going. Like when they got back, I got to keep doing it, bro.
Were they like tripping out when they like came back?
100%. Yeah. Cause I remember they logged back onto Xbox and jumped back into the party with me. And they're like, hey, what's up, dude? Are you still in the game? And I was like, yeah, bro. And they're like, haha. And I was like, nah, for real. I'm still in it. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, bro. And they're like, holy shit. And they like jump back in. But it was like, they jumped in with nothing, right? Because you can't like leave, you can't come back to a game obviously with all your shit. Yeah. So they kept just like getting like taken down, but they were just in the game and they just kept dying. And like you would respawn at the beginning of each round, right? But they were just like, just keep going, bro. Don't worry about us. Like just keep surviving or whatever, blah blah blah. But like we did die eventually because I think the more players that it has, I think the more they'll like swarm you at once or some shit like that. So it just like started to get like intense and overwhelming. But it's fun. I liked it. I loved everything about those games, bro. Like I literally freaking watched all the videos on like the behind the scenes stuff of like all of them. I would try to do the Easter eggs with the homies. They were ridiculously hard, especially later. They got like too complicated.
Honestly, I think the later ones are a lot easier than like the earlier ones for some reason. Like the early ones are like when you go back to like Ascension and stuff like that, like those are like they're fucking random, and you got to do some crazy. Like random shit.
I feel like that's what I mean. It's like up to, I would say like the DLCs up to Black Ops 2 were complicated. It was like a lot of just like pay attention to this weird little line of dialogue that happens, and that's supposed to give you a hint of like this random button you're supposed to press on this weird part of the map that you probably never go to. And like you go and you hold X and there's no prompt or anything, but you hold it or square or whatever it is, and it like changes something and you're like, okay, I guess that did something. Fuck, let's find a way for the next one or whatever. It was super like, what's the word? They just didn't hold your hand. Like you for sure had to figure that shit out. It was not like trying to help you along.
Yeah.
But it was super fun though.
I just think like the ones nowadays are like a lot easier because people do them so fast. So you can just like go online and like watch how to do it, and then like
that's
all
true.
right, you get on with the homies and you're like, all right, we're gonna do this, and like let's go through it, you know. But like I remember watching like the videos for like the Ascension Easter egg, right? And like that was way before like Easter egg hunts for zombies just like were a thing.
Oh yeah,
you know. So like people like figuring out the shit to do. They're like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? And like you go to some random thing and you got to shoot like. And I trip out on the people that figure out how to do that shit.
Like how?
Like what are you doing? Like what
how
is
did
your
you figure that out?
Like obviously your objective when you load into the game is to like just try to find Easter eggs, but like
you know what I think?
God damn.
You know who I think it is? It's probably like I would imagine it's people who are like either game testers or like game wiki people, where like I assume it's passion, like it's like they just want to do it, right? Because obviously they weren't getting paid for it back then, like or at least some of them probably were, because YouTube was understood YouTube back then. But like some people I think just want to go into a game and just like analyze and observe like every square inch of like the game world. And I feel like that's how you get those guides. It's like there is some guy who's like, okay, I'm just gonna go shoot everything that moves in this map and see if something happens. And then like they happen to shoot the one bottle. It's like, okay, there's step 2. Now let's go try something else.
It's just crazy because there are like obvious things within maps that are like, oh yeah, that's an Easter egg. Like
Yeah, like sticks out.
like all the song Easter eggs, right? Like they have like the little fucking the weird sound.
Yeah, it's like and you find like the teddy bears or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
or like the little rocks and like Kino Return. Like those are very like
you get the freaking metal song.
Like they're there. They are like leading you to them.
Yeah.
But then again, like I always bring back the Ascension one because that's like the earliest one that I remember, and where it's just like, damn, you like thought to just shoot that random fucking thing out in the distance over there, or you thought to get this one thing from the box and throw it at like you know, like that's
like fuck it,
that's crazy to me.
You know what else though too is I think it also because that's I think why actually I was probably so invested in the story surrounding the Easter eggs was that like I'm pretty sure that was part of how they figured it out, because when you would listen back to like the different logs and tapes and stuff that you could find, which were also like pretty obvious, right? Like you would hear the tape rolling or whatever, so you can go and press them. Like they talk about it, right? So like you hear Richtofen on like a thing, and he's like, "I did the test today, and when I threw this grenade at the thing, it made a weird what do you call it?" So like. You as the player is like, oh, okay, well, let me try to get the monkeys and throw it at that thing, and maybe that'll work. True. But still, it was like you had to be dedicated to like really wanting to absorb everything that was on those new maps to like get to that point without a guide. Because I was the same way. I did not get through those without guides. Like I was for sure not figuring those out on my own.
Fuck no.
Yeah, but it was still just cool to try and execute them, even if you knew like how it was done.
What are your top 3 favorite zombie maps?
Number 1 is probably gonna be Kino, just because it's too classic.
Yeah, it's hard. It really is like the perfect map, honestly.
It really is. Like it's hard to not. There's just so many. I think everybody just has so many classic memories from that map. Like it's really really tough to not choose that one. For number 2. I'm going to go old school, and I'm going to say Derice or Derice, however you say it.
Yes.
That one is fucking clean. I did play that on World at War. Not when it came out, but before they dude, I swear to God, this happens to me all the time. I need to be more patient with my gaming purchases. This is one instance of it happening, but I wanted to play the old school maps. And so I went and I purchased the digital version of Call of Duty, World at War, and I purchased all the DLCs for them so that I could play them, thinking this is the only way I'm going to be able to do this. This game's 10 years old. Fucking that summer, the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombie Chronicles comes out and just has all the fucking maps remastered and perfectly ready to go. And I was like, cool, fuck you guys. But love Derice because I feel like that is like the prototype for what Kino became. That was when they had like the teleporter. There was the pack-a-punch.
Yeah.
They had some of the wonder weapons, like the Wonder Waffle was there. The ray gun was always around, right? But like that was like the blueprint, I think. That was like the beta.
Yeah.
For like
very true.
Yeah. So I love Derice too because it's just classic. And then for number 3, I'm gonna go with Origins.
Okay.
Because of just the bombastic epic scale of that one. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that one was insane. Like when I dropped in and was like running through trenches in World War One, and there was like giant iron giants like smashing over the top of me, and not only that, I could like jump and climb inside of them and stuff. I was like, this is next level insane.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, those are my top 3. Those are some of the best. I feel like I'm missing out on. I have other favorites that are near and dear to my heart, but those are probably like the most impactful to me, I would say.
Yeah.
Because there's other clean ones out there for sure.
I think my list is very similar because number 1, I will for sure put Kino for the same reasons that you said. It's just like first map I ever played zombies on.
Yeah.
So it has that nostalgic, like near and dear place in my heart. So that's obviously going to be number 1. But again, it really is just like a perfect map. Like the layout is really good. Everything leading from like the initial like lobby area.
The flow of doors.
Yeah, the
like,
flow of everything
perfect,
is just, it's like a very nice circle.
Yep.
And I can really appreciate some good like symmetry.
It's good map design, bro. It's just good fucking map
Great
design.
map design.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just classic.
It is.
Like I always had my
in a movie theater,
like
bro.
my classic route of like up and to the right, you know, into like
grab the MP40 off the wall.
Grab the MP40.
Park it there for a minute.
Exactly.
Hope that the box is in that first room.
Exactly. Open it. Freaking.
The dressing rooms,
dude,
right?
Me and my cousin always had this strat where, so I'm pretty sure if you get claymores, each round they refill.
Yeah.
So what we would do is get claymores off the wall, and then set them going into the teleporter.
Mm-hmm.
And we would do that and just keep doing that, right?
Yeah.
And then we would link the teleporters and be like, all right, let's go teleport.
Yeah.
So we get all the zombies, go in the teleporter, teleport. When the zombies come into the teleporter, all the claymores just blow up.
Yeah,
so they all get, you just take a bunch of them out. So we'd always do that. But yeah, Kino's number 1.
Yep.
Number 2, Darius.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, like prototype. There's just so many great things about that map. Yeah. Like the freaking,
it's for sure janky.
linking the teleporters, I think, is very like ahead of its time.
Yep.
For sure.
Big time.
The every time you teleport, getting like a perk, I think is, or not a perk, but like a drop, I think is really fucking cool.
Yep.
Again, like guns, like, because I played that shit in like Black Ops 1, so I didn't have the luxury of like playing World at War and having guns like the Thompson and stuff like that. So going to the first room and getting the Thompson is always fucking sick, great. Bro, I think the route to just like go and like turn on the power is like pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
And number 3, I've been talking about it, Ascension, brother.
Yeah, Ascension's awesome.
That was like the first
one, bro,
like to me where I was just like, holy shit, like there's Easter eggs, there's all these new things, there's the fucking PhD flopper, I can die from the top of the fucking stairs and fucking explode and do all that shit. I think that was the first map where you had like the death machine, so you had the fucking
the death machine
that's
perk,
right, and so you had the fucking
the big old Gatling gun, bro.
Exactly, that shit was cool. Them taking out the teleporter for that little fucking floater.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That shit was really fucking cool.
Awesome,
I think a lot of people didn't like it. I fucking really liked it. You know, I thought it was really nice.
That was when they had just started to try and do different shit.
Exactly.
In zombies maps, because later they did tons of crazy shit.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I liked like obviously doing like the little Easter egg to freaking get the rocket to blast off.
Oh yeah.
But also getting the ray gun and shooting the rocket so it explodes up, like that. Shit, like little shit like that is so really fucking good. Yeah. I think the layout to the map is honestly pretty nice. It's not like a perfect, like everything doesn't like lead back to itself.
No, but I like that though.
But yeah, I really, it does make it a little, it makes it more challenging, you know, like
you can get caught in a corner.
Exactly. It's not like Kino, I love Kino, but like if you're in a rut, you can just literally open up every door and just like run around in a circle if you need to, right? Whereas Ascension, like, yeah, you can run at the top and like train like in there, but it's like, it's a little tougher, you know, so it's a little bit more challenging. Honorable mentions, I will say, when they did the Alcatraz map.
I was gonna say we have to shout out the others because like it's hard to just narrow it down to 3 because like there are so many good zombies map. Alcatraz is awesome. I was always a big fan of Call of the Dead. Getting to play as fucking Danny Trejo, bro, and like Sarah Michelle Gellar, like
that shit's tight
epic.
Too.
That's awesome. Freddy Krueger's the actor who plays Freddy Krueger's in that shit. I forget who the 4th guy was. Oh, it's fucking what's his name? Fuck, it's fucking Yondu, bro.
Yeah,
what's his name? God damn,
yeah.
I forgot his name right now. But yeah, epic. The one I mentioned earlier, the Western one, is awesome because like that's already a cool enough setting. But like you start on like a fucking like drill, like fracking drill in the middle of the desert, and then you like crash through the ground and it's like underground.
Yeah, this hidden town.
Dude,
underground.
epic. That one's amazing. Obviously Moon is like epic.
Oh dude, yes.
Moon's insane. There's like the zero gravity shit. You have to like manage your suits when you're out there and stuff like that.
The Easter egg to blow up the fucking
the earth.
To blow up the earth.
Insane. That one is obviously like epic. But like even some of the classics I think are really good. I like Shinonuma a lot.
Oh,
the like swamp one. That one's really cool. Very atmospheric. I really like all of the World at War maps because I do also love the original one, which is like, I forget. It's very similar to Kino. It's
Noctur and Toten.
Noctur and Toten. There you go. I love that one a lot too, just because that
if Darius is the beta to Kino, Noctur and Toten is the alpha to fucking Kino.
Yeah, because it's literally just like you had. I remember there was one strategy and one strategy only when me and my cousins would play, which was you would get through the early rounds as best as you could. You would go through the door like to your left, I guess, which was like the long hallway, and then you would open the stairs in there so you could get to the top level.
Yeah.
But you would never open the staircase that was the spiral one.
Yeah, the main one.
Yeah, you'd leave that one closed, and then you would keep hitting the box until one person got the ray gun and the flamethrower, and the other got the fucking Browning and whatever else they wanted.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like two Browning, like each person would have a Browning or whatever, right? But somebody had to have the ray gun because you would just literally sit in the corner and we would just take turns spraying. So it was like, okay, unload your Browning into them. And it was like, because it had a crazy reload time. Yeah. So it was just like spray and pray until it was out because it was a huge mag. Then it's like, okay, trade, and then you go while your partner fucking reloads theirs, and then vice versa. And if shit got heavy, busted out the flamethrower and the ray gun and just torched their asses, bro.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything. That map was so small, you just had to like stick into a corner and survive as long as you can. It's epic.
I thought Shangri-La was like a nice attempt
Shangri-La's cool.
of doing something.
I love
cool.
that one actually.
It like visually, it's really cool.
I like Shangri-La a lot because I am forever and always a fan of putting platforming elements into any game, just because that's what I grew up on. It was like Mario, Sonic, Crash Bandicoot. Like I love platformers. So the fact that there was like the crazy slip and slides that you had to like jump over, and like traps that you could get caught in, like if you jumped on the wrong panels they would like shoot you with shit or whatever. Like I loved that part of it. I thought that just added like a cool element to it.
Yeah, it was my favorite, but like visually I thought it was cool.
Yeah, sick.
What else is there? I mean, yeah, a lot of the map. I mean, honestly, like a lot of just like those DLC maps for Black Ops 1
were the best. Those are the goats,
fucking good
for sure. Yeah,
because it was
Ascension first.
It was Ascension.
Call of
the Dead.
Call of the Dead was one of them, and then I think
then Shangri-La.
Yeah.
And then it was Moon.
Yeah, I think it was those four.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was also 5. Do you remember 5?
Oh yeah.
When you play in the Pentagon as the fucking president.
That one's tough. Dude,
it is hard.
That one's a tough map.
That also had a weird gun too. It's like an ice gun, I think.
Yeah, I always liked doing it. Once I figured out what like trophies were, and you could do like the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah,
trophy.
That's right.
That one was dope. I liked that shit.
No, that's good shit, dude. A lot of good memories from zombies for sure.
I liked them. That one had that glitch where you can like. Did you ever do the glitch on that map?
Yeah, you jump on the little.
Yeah, you jump on the freaking the boards like for the freaking the window where the zombies come through,
and they can't hit you, right?
Yeah, and you hop on like the desk in the fucking
it's like an invulnerable hitbox.
Room.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what else was kind of clean, and I actually think Diggs mentioned this, or maybe it was you. I can't remember. Somebody mentioned this last time we were talking about zombies. But Dead Ops Arcade I thought was kind of clean actually.
It was.
I did like Dead Ops Arcade.
That shit's really.
I thought it was pretty fun. Like. It just felt very classic arcade. Like I felt like I was putting quarters in and just going as long as I could.
It was just like it's like a fun like it's way more fun than just regular zombies, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you're getting frustrated with regular zombies,
you just go play Dead Ops.
You just go play Dead Ops, and
it's you just have to move the analog sticks.
Yeah, you just move.
You throw a grenade every once in a while with like one of the triggers, I think.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're just aiming and moving.
I like getting like the power up where you can just run really fast.
Oh yeah,
like, that shit's cool, right, bro. Yeah. Like that shit's very like unique and just not in other zombies. Yeah. Like imagine if that shit was in other zombies.
Oh
That'd be fucking dope.
Also, just like the power ups too. Honestly, at the time, I think was like pretty smart because like they were random and like insta kills and nukes and stuff like that. Like they would just drop whenever and you'd be happy when you did. But there was like strategies for them, right? Like you would unload everything you had on dogs because you knew you were getting max ammo at the end of it. So you could just go ham. You didn't have to worry about it. When there was a nuke, you would go as long as you can and like take out a bunch of them before you had to grab it, right? Like I remember we would always wait until it was like blinking as fast as it would go. Yeah. Because then you could just like, get the most out of it and shit.
Stack your points.
Insta kills, you go to knifing so you can save your ammo. Like there's like, it was just like it wasn't crazy deep. It's not Helldivers, right? Like it's not like you're having to do all this crazy shit or whatever, but it was like that extra level of like gameplay where you did have to think a little bit about what you're doing.
Saving up to get the Bowie knife so you can keep the one shot knife until like round like 13 or something. I
used to do what do you call it? Just the Olympia and the pistol to save up to 3,000 so that I could get that because knife kills are worth I think like 20 or 30 points more than regular kills.
Damn, so if you're just let me know you're an Olympia guy. I don't know, bro. I don't know how I feel about that.
No, I'm not an Olympia guy, but you buy that one because it's cheaper than the what do you call it? The single shot one or whatever it is.
I guess.
When you're going for that run specifically. But I will say I'm a fan of the Olympia for dogs because I do not fuck with trying to take them out with the marksman rifle. And when you're in that first room, you don't have a lot of options to guns.
I think you just make your money back when you use the rifle because you can treat that like
more shots,
the pistol, and do like 2 shots and then a fucking knife and then 3
I was gonna
shots
say that was me. I was for sure like a point whore. Like I was getting all the shots I could out of my weakest gun in those first few rounds to just get those extra points.
I grew up watching Syndicate, bro, and that's all that fool would do. He'd be like, yeah.
Because homie was on point about how to get down in zombies.
He was like, yeah, you can unload a full clip if you shoot them in their leg.
Yep, and then you get all those extra little 10s and 20 points or whatever.
God damn it, you fucking bastard.
That's smart shit, dude.
It is, dude.
That's what I mean. Like, all that stuff was so cool. Like, that reminds me of, like, I'm sure there was metas back when there was, like, you know, people were playing Quake and like the first Halo and stuff like that or whatever, but that's the first meta that I remember being exposed to, is like the zombie meta, and like I guess the Call of Duty meta back in that day, in those times too, you know, like
point whoring.
Yeah, dude, point whoring and like fucking just all that crazy shit, you know. It was fun. I remember you could like really stretch if you're like out of ammo. You could like really stretch like the barriers pretty good.
Yeah,
because you could just like knife them and then build one piece back, and then knife them and then build a piece back or whatever. Yeah, you know what I hated is like you knew you were really desperate and like fucked when you have good guns but you're out of ammo with both of them, and so you're like, fuck, I guess I'm gonna have to buy you're like, I guess I'm gonna have to buy a gun off the wall. Like, what am I gonna do when you have to ditch one of your like pack-a-punch something or others for either like a box attempt, or I would just go for like the MP40 a lot of the time.
I was gonna say it's Mando, just get the MP40.
Yeah, because
that's points and just pack-a-punch that shit, you know.
That's the only thing that's worth it at that point, because like that thing pops heads like crazy, honestly, even on later rounds. And then once you pack-a-punch it, it is a strong gun and it has like good ammo and everything. But yeah, that's how you knew you're desperate. Like, you have to ditch the shit you saved up for just to survive, bro.
I honestly always really liked getting the M16 and pack-a-punching it, because I liked being able to have the option to turn it fully auto.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. I thought that was really cool.
Also, great sound design, because like it feels amazing to mow down a bunch of zombies with like a fucking bright red glowing gun that goes. Like, dude, that shit was. They sounded like fucking laser guns.
That shit was awesome, bro.
Shit was epic.
They've definitely like switched up the sound for sure.
I don't like.
And it sucks.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But
I mean, nothing, my classic laser guns.
Really, nothing's gonna beat that classic like World at War to Black Ops 2 to even like Black Ops 3 zombies. Black Ops 3 was still fun.
It's just that high pitch like.
But like World at War to Black Ops 1 was for sure.
That was a crazy run. Those
golden era of Black Ops zombies for sure.
100%, yeah.
Because like there wasn't really Shangri-La wasn't like a favorite for sure, and I think a lot of people were like split on Moon.
Yeah,
just because
Moon
of like
crazy.
How different it was, the zero gravity and everything like that
too. Because Moon was huge compared to other maps.
But those are all hitters, bro. Those are all classic maps, like within their own right. You know,
I agree. 100%.
And that's definitely gonna be a game that I like keep. So like in the future, just fucking pop that shit in.
Still have Black Ops on disc.
Let me play Black Ops 1.
Yeah,
dude.
For sure. Dude.
Let me show you how to get out of the chair really quick. Just showing my son, my future son, like, hey, look at this little Easter egg.
Yeah.
Homeboy can get out of the chair.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be like, Dad, that fucking sucks. And I'll be like, dude, you don't even know.
He's gonna be like in his VR thing, like actually shaking out of a chair or whatever, like in real life. Be like, whatever, dude.
I'm just gonna repeating the numbers, Mason.
Yeah. Oh, dude, such a good story too. That game's insane. Yeah, Black Ops honestly I think had the edge in terms of story, in my opinion. I still really liked the Call of Duty Modern Warfare campaigns, don't get me wrong, but they were just like action romps for the most part. There was some heavy hits here and there. When your favorites die, it sucked, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But like fucking Black Ops is about like brainwashed POWs and shit, bro. In Vietnam, like that one's fucking crazy. Yeah, that one's insane, bro. Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah, Black Ops 1 definitely has the better campaign and zombies experience.
For sure.
Black Ops 2 is where they killed it in the multiplayer experience. I agree, yeah. Multiplayer on Black Ops 2 is for sure some of the best multiplayer in just Call of Duty history.
Yeah, because I'll take Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer over Black Ops 1 multiplayer.
100%.
I still really liked Black Ops 1 multiplayer. Don't get me wrong.
We did get freaking what's the Nuketown. We did get Nuketown.
Nuketown's amazing, and I was just really in love with the scenery. And like the setting. I liked the Vietnam shit instead of like the modern shit. So still really good, but I'll still take MW2 over that. And then it's vice versa. I'll play Black Ops 2 multiplayer over Modern Warfare 3.
They just got it right, bro. Yeah. Like that one was
Black Ops 2 is crazy.
So solid.
That was probably peak Call of Duty, I'll say, is Black Ops 2. Because they weren't hitting as hard on the zombies front, but they were still doing pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
and they had the multiplayer, and then I would say same for campaign. Like,
Yeah.
it's not as good as the first one, but it's still not bad. And
Yeah.
it's a continuation of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, fuck. Like, they didn't have a nuke, but like getting the nuclear charm.
Yeah.
I could never get it. But like, just like that.
Yeah.
Like, and it was right before they like switched up like kill streak type shit. You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
So
because
it
they
was, like,
did
still-
score streaks.
Yeah, they
after
started
that,
shooting score streaks
Yeah.
and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so it was still like OG Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And fuck, dude. And then like the competitive scene during that time was
insane.
was definitely I don't want to say like peak, because I wasn't like, I'm not the person to go to when it's like competitive Call of Duty.
Sure, yeah.
But I think that is,
that was peak for our generation.
yeah, some of the best
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, because that was also just a fun time, because you had people playing professionally, competitively on like a crazy level. You also had a lot of other varying content though, because you had like your trick shotters, right? FaZe Clan was famous for just
Yeah.
like wrecking shit with sniper rifles.
Exactly.
You had all of the what's that dude's name? Drifter. Did you ever watch Drifter?
No.
Drifter was like this dude who basically broke down. It was like the nerdy side of Call of Duty, so he broke down all the stats. But he also did this shit that I remember watching all the time that was like Drifter Says,
Uh-huh.
and it was just Simon Says, but in private matches.
Damn.
So it would be like, you know, dolphin dive over this thing, and if you didn't
Yeah.
get her, he fucking dumbs you or whatever.
Yeah.
Like hilarious, like just goofy shit. Like that was just the time for like, because I think also too what it was is like that was also peak YouTube.
Yeah, true.
Like again for like when it was first coming up,
Uh-huh.
and so they just met at the perfect time. It was
Yeah.
just a golden age, bro.
Very true.
Yeah.
I think Call of Duty Ghosts is a very underrated.
I agree with you. I know a lot of people shit on it when it came out, but I had a blast playing it.
Multiplayer was fun.
I
dude.
liked it.
It was really fun.
I liked the slower pace. I'm not gonna
Uh-huh.
lie. Like I was down for it. I was okay with it, just because I was starting to get a little bit burnt out. I think of like needing to have like crazy twitch reflexes and be like on level 7 like sensitivity to like turn around
Yeah.
in time to kill some. But like shit was getting too crazy, so
Yeah.
I was down for the change up.
Yeah, Ghost was sick. Ghost was sick.
I liked it too. Yeah. Favorite Call of Duty game before we
Oh, favorite Call of Duty game? Fuck.
we did a favorite zombies game, so I feel like it's only right to do your favorite Call of Duty. Mine's Black Ops 1.
Fuck.
Probably pretty easily. I would say Black Ops 1.
It's probably between Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, those are the only two. Really.
It's also tough because Modern Warfare 2 was the first Call of Duty that I ever played, so that's
Me
what like
too.
got me
Yeah.
into it.
Crazy
so,
multi. I played Modern Warfare the first one, but not nearly the same level I played Modern Warfare 2 at.
But I would probably say Black Ops 1. That's when I like really started getting into gaming. Like I didn't
Yeah.
really play multiplayer too much for Modern Warfare 2.
Uh-huh. But it was the campaign.
It was the
during that
campaign
time.
that
Yeah.
was sick, and I just played that with the homies a lot, like, you know,
Yeah.
1v1s and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah, that was always fun.
And so that was cool, playing like the Spec Ops and stuff with like my cousin and shit like
that's
that.
right.
Dude,
Yeah,
Spec Ops
was cool. I like Spec Ops. Yeah.
Yeah, but fuck, I think Black Ops 1 is probably fuck. I can't even say an all around better game because like again like watching
Multiplayer is better
yeah
in Modern Warfare 2. But,
yes,
but
but campaign is better. And it has
multiplayer
zombies.
still really good, and that was peak zombies.
That's all. That's like tough too because zombies is like almost just like another game in itself,
Yeah.
like within a game.
but then
you know?
even then,
It's like not even just like an add-on like Spec Ops. Like Zombies was already
Yeah.
like its own entity,
already,
you
because
know?
of World at War.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So fuck. But yeah, probably Black Ops 1.
It just
I
hit
would
on
say.
all three cylinders.
Yeah,
Like Call of Duty
did.
is famous for shipping those three things, right? Which is like campaign, multiplayer, and some form of co-op.
Uh-huh.
And that is the only game probably where I fucking love all three of them. Other games, I like some of them and I fuck with some of them.
Yeah.
And I really
yeah.
love other parts of it, but that's probably the only one where I'm like, fuck, yes. I am down for all three of those things.
Yeah, Black Ops 1. Fuck yeah.
Black Ops 1's
1, I
crazy,
would
bro.
say.
That game's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
It just
It's just
yeah,
hard. I
it's
agree.
hard, yeah.
It is hard because I feel it like I grew up on Modern Warfare 2 as far as like a gamer. So like that was my like multiplayer like blossoming. Like that was when I started getting into chats with my friends.
It's just
and
also
shit,
hard
like,
because it's like I can't discredit Black Ops 2 either.
Black Ops 2 is also
like
really
the
good.
multiplayer was so fucking
Multiplayer
good.
is better than Black Ops
Like
1.
was so fucking fun.
I don't know if it's hard. Actually, no. I think it's even better than Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer too.
Oh,
Modern
100%,
Warfare 2 is more
100%.
classic,
Yes.
but Black Ops is the evolution. Black Ops 2, I mean, is the evolution of it.
It is, dude. And that I think that's when we had like ranked mode and stuff like that too.
Yeah, they started adding it into the actual game. You didn't have to just like find a community that would do competitive.
And like, fuck. Yeah. It's just tough. It's tough for me, dude. It's tough because again, Modern Warfare 2 is the cornerstone to my Call of Duty love, you know?
I also went the hardest on Modern Warfare 2. Like Modern Warfare 2 was peak Daniel Call of Duty player. Like you can ask Carlos and Diego, bro. I used to be sick with it, dude.
Yeah.
Like your homie was fucking getting nukes with the pistols and shit, bro. Like I was way too crazy about it.
I got one nuke ever on that game.
It's so satisfying. It's the best thing ever.
It was on High Rise.
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard map to do it on, bro.
I was using the the P90.
Yeah, that gun's insane.
And
Kimbo?
No, I wasn't. I was just using single P90, and I'm pretty sure my kill streaks were like Predator missile, chopper gunner, fucking nuke.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And I was just covering the underground. You know, the underground that connected like both the buildings.
Yeah.
I was just fucking covering that shit and just like running back
and forth.
Just running back and forth, and just like I remember getting like so nervous and being like,
"Oh, we're almost there." That's the hardest part about it. It's when you hit like 15 kills. And you're like, oh shit, like, okay, focus up.
Real.
You got to get those last 10, bro.
It's more so like that is nerve wracking, right? Because you're at 15, but I would feel a lot better dying at 15 than dying at like 23.
20. Yeah.
You know?
Or even just 20, like just a few kills away. Like, it's like, fuck, bro.
So once you're in that within that last 5, like that's when it hurts,
bad.
bro.
Yeah.
That's when it hurts. Yeah. Your palms start sweating. Your heart starts beating a little fucking faster. Your eyes start beating back and forth, darting back and forth.
Real
and
nervous.
Shit like
you
that.
get real antsy. Yeah.
You start like fishing for kills, right? You start putting yourself in bad situations.
You don't be the patience is lost. Yeah,
patience, young Padawan.
Yeah, the strategy I remember when you're trying to run crazy nukes, like with like challenge ones or whatever, was you would always just be the stealthy nuisance, right? Because like you could actually do stealth in Modern Warfare 2 also, which was amazing because you could do Cold-Blooded Pro, which would hide your name tag, and you could do I think it was Dead Silence still. Or was it Ninja?
What were we talking about? Black Ops 2?
No, Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2? It was Ninja.
It was Ninja? Okay.
Yeah.
So Ninja Pro would actually 1000% silence your footsteps. Could not hear it. And then Cold-Blooded Pro would get rid of your name tag.
Yep.
So you could genuinely stealth in that game.
Yeah.
And so you would just run... I would always run the USP-45 with the silencer on it. And you would do... Chopper Gunner, Dogs, Nuke. And what you would do is you would
There wasn't Dogs in Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, I thought there was. No?
No.
Oh, really?
Dogs didn't come till Black Ops 1.
Okay, then in that one, that was Black Ops 2 then, was Chopper Gunner, Dogs, and then Nuke. Or Black Ops 1 or whatever. But
there's no nuke in Black Ops 1 or
really?
2.
No, there's a nuke in one of those games.
Nope.
There's something then. It's the Moab. There's a nuke.
That's
that's Modern Warfare 3. Okay, then Modern Warfare 3 had Dogs?
I believe so.
Okay, one of them had Dogs, because what I remember is maybe in Modern Warfare 2 it was what was that? Not Harriet. What is it? What was the 7 kill streak?
Harrier?
Yeah, Harrier strike.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but it was the gunner, right?
The one that like stayed over
Yeah, and would just like take people out or whatever.
That one's probably a different name, but I understand.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay, so that one was like a 7 kill streak. You would hit that, you'd hit the chopper gunner, and then you'd get the nuke, because you would just go crazy until you got your chopper gunner. And then you would just fucking pray to God that you had a good enough hiding spot to just take out those last few to get you to 25. Because chopper gunner was pretty high. It was like 11.
It was 12.
12, okay. And so like you would really not... And you could get a lot of kills with the chopper gunner. That thing was pretty overpowered. Yeah, that's the thing.
You also have to pray for like you have to be on a good map for a chopper gunner, you know?
That's also what I was going to say too, and why it's crazy to me that you got a nuke on high rise is like... Bigger maps are for sure the way to go when it comes to trying to grab nukes, because smaller maps are just way too chaotic, bro. Like, it is absolute insanity. Oh, thank you. I got it right here. But go ahead. Do it.
No, I was giving it to you.
Oh, I can't do it with the lighter, bro. Hell no. No.
I trip out on those videos where, like, the people do it with, like, fucking everything, you know?
You know what is the coolest one that I've seen is... I can't remember what Fuck, what is it? He's, like, a fucking guitar player, and I think he... Oh, that's what he does. So he fucking just opens the bottle with his mouth, right? Just bites the shit off. Does the like upside down swirl, so it just like shoots back hella quick, and then he grabs the bottle and uses it as a fucking like a slide.
Damn.
to do like that country sound and just
That's
start
some crazy
soloing.
shit.
It's some of the craziest shit I ever seen.
Some
I was
crazy
like,
shit.
damn, that was clean as
crazy
fuck,
shit.
bro.
But yeah, that was our Call of Duty talk. We had
Yeah.
a really hard Call of Duty talk this episode.
I
And
think
I'm
it
down.
fits. It fits
I'm
too
down.
with what we're going to talk about.
100%.
Yeah, fits.
So, shall we move on to the movies and do weeklies at the end, or shall we do weeklies first?
I know we usually do weeklies first, but I am more excited to talk about the weeklies than I am the movies.
I'm so glad we're on the same page.
Okay,
because
cool.
I was thinking that.
So let's hit the movies first.
And just because like I don't want to end the episode on like ragging on shit. Like I'd
Yeah,
rather end the episode
yeah.
on like praising some
Yeah,
shit that I
for
thought
sure.
was really
For
good.
sure, for sure.
Because both episode 7s
Were
for
awesome.
Shogun and Invincible.
Oh, they were both 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
were
awesome.
crazy
Absolutely
good.
insane. Yeah.
But yeah, so last week, as we told you guys, we were gonna do a original versus a remake,
Yes.
see which does it better. There are tons out. We debated doing a Roadhouse.
Oh yeah, we could still do that one.
We could still do
down
it
the line.
eventually.
I think Roadhouse is on streaming already.
Yes.
I think it's on Prime or something like that.
Yes, but I was like, you know what? Let's do another Patrick Swayze movie.
Yeah.
And let's do some Red Dawn. Because I had originally watched the remake. So I knew about
Chris
the 2012
Hemsworth one.
remake with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was so fucking down for that movie.
Uh-huh.
I think it's just such an easy, like, popcorn movie, like an easy popcorn action movie to,
Yeah.
like,
Especially at that time.
exactly, just be like, fuck yeah, this movie's fucking
It was
sick.
Call
People
of Duty as fuck, bro.
They make a
Yeah.
Call of Duty reference in that
Yeah,
movie.
exactly. Yeah.
And I was
like,
aware.
we're living Call of Duty, bro.
I was aware that there was an original,
brother. Oh,
but
sorry,
I had
thanks
just
for this.
never watched it. So
How was it? Shall we do chronological order as we usually do?
yes,
Okay.
um,
How did you feel going back to, what was it, like 1980 something?
84.
84. Okay.
It was just, it was weird for me because
Did you watch this one first? Like for the rewatches of these two?
so I watched like half of it,
Okay.
and then I like wasn't getting into it,
Uh-huh.
and so then I went and watched
The
the
other one.
original or like the remake,
Yeah.
and like I was like, all right, I'm
Okay.
on some Red Dawn, and then
Uh-huh.
I went back
And finished it.
and finished
Okay,
it.
okay.
So I wasn't like not down for this movie.
Mhm.
I think there is a lot to like about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I don't know, like, not that things don't happen fast in the remake,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think
you
things
cut off
happen.
30 minutes too.
Yeah, things happen. I think in the beginning, like so fast.
Yeah.
right.
There's like 5 minutes of peace before shit hits the fan.
Exactly.
It's still
like,
quick. It's like maybe like 10 to 15 minutes in the other one, but it's pretty fast.
It's like you get introduced.
They pull up in the truck.
They pull up.
They're
in, the
in
truck,
class.
They make the reference to the football game.
Yeah.
They go to
Yeah.
class, and then the teacher's talking, and all of a sudden these fools start
Parachutes.
dropping from the fucking sky.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you guys are unfamiliar with Red Dawn,
Yeah. The premise is.
the premise of Red Dawn, specifically the 1984 version,
Yeah.
is it's a take on a possible future if World War III did happen in the 80s
On American soil.
on American soil when the U.S. and the Soviet Union, or if they were Russia, I can't fucking remember. I'm pretty
It's-
sure they were the Soviet Union.
It is,
at
yeah.
that time.
Yeah, this
at
is
that time.
This is the IMDb. It is the dawn of World War III. In the West Mountains of America, a group of teenagers band together to defend their town and their country from invading Soviet forces. So yeah, pretty much. That's about it. That's pretty much all you need to know.
Yeah, so I think just what threw me off
Uh-huh.
from having the prior knowledge of the remake, like even without watching it, I very much knew, like, okay, homie, Jeb,
Yeah. I thought it was Jed.
Jed, Jed or Jeb.
Some kind of crazy fucking
Yeah.
name. I was like tripping out
So
on
at
it.
least like in the remake, Jed is a Marine
Yeah.
who, teaches this band of kids how to defend themselves
Yes.
against a warring nation. right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is something that I can easily get my mind around.
I couldn't.
Like, it just makes more sense
Uh-huh.
that someone who is trained in these tactics can teach someone versus just a band of kids being like, all right, we're going to go to war with Russia.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah. For me, it was
It
more
just-
that like I was able to more easily buy what I understood as like relatively athletic high schoolers from the 80s when they were just built different versus like Call of Duty kids all of a sudden like becoming fucking Marines and shit like that.
I see that, but it's just like, Not that either of these
They
movies
both
are
don't
like
make sense.
super realistic.
I will
right?
say that, yeah.
None of these, neither of these movies really.
Either
make
scenarios,
sense.
the Wolverines get fucking trashed. No way they fucking survive as long as they do.
No, because they survive months. They survive from like October till like February.
In this one, they do. In the original, right?
In the original,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
In the remake, there's really not a time frame on when that shit happens.
No, it seems like it's pretty fast. Yeah.
But it's just like we jump so fast from in the truck to classroom to okay, now these kids just gotta like go off and fend for themselves. Where I'm just like, okay, like it just is happening super fast for me, right? And I'm just like, all right, like I don't know what they're going for here, but all right, let's see where it's going, right? And like the scene where the dad dies, or not dies, but like where they go to the camp and they like talk to the dad.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, okay, like this isn't like my favorite thing in the world. How are they just like right up against this fence when it's supposed to be this super not like super heavily guarded?
But it's
like
the re-education camp, as they call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're just right up against the fence.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking to good old Pop, talking about this and talking about that, and the dad just doesn't seem like the coolest person in the world. He kind of does seems like an asshole.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just dude, I just wasn't buying that shit. Like it wasn't, like I felt like I was meant to care about that, but I really fucking didn't.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't give a shit about them going and seeing their fucking dad that I had never known about up until this point.
Yeah, he's just
and then all of a sudden they're just fucking crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like I get it. Yeah, your dad is captured by the Russians or the Cubans and shit like that.
Fuck off and just forget about me.
But I also just don't give a shit right now. Like you've done nothing in this movie to really make me like care about like who this dude is and why they're so beat up about him, other than the fact that you've explained to me that, oh, this is their dad.
Yeah.
So that I'm already like, eh. And then when he's just like, avenge me.
Yeah, that part was funny.
I was like,
ridiculous.
dude, shut up.
Yeah, that was ridiculous,
bro.
yeah.
Shut up.
Okay, but to be fair, and because did you feel that way about the new one as well? Because that's how I felt about the new one.
So I
thought it was also ridiculous. I thought it was just as ridiculous to try and make like this big. His is worse to me because his is like, patriotism is the way to go, boys. Like telling a 16-year-old kid to be like, do what I would do and fight these fucking bastards. Like,
but they
that
both
shit's crazy.
basically do the same thing.
They do. It is.
They both
Yeah.
basically do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I like the second one just a little bit more is because you just give me a little bit, just enough to like at least give a shit about their dad and give a little bit of a shit about the situation there.
He's just like less of an asshole is what it is. He's nicer to them.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, like maybe it's just the dad being at the football game.
Yeah, he tells him he's proud.
Exactly.
Really
like
quick,
there's at least something there where I'm like, okay, this dude's nice. I don't really want him to die,
Yeah.
So at least when they get to that, I have at least something to grasp onto where I'm like, okay, I understand the reactions of these characters beyond just the fact that this is their dad. Like you've done at least a little bit for me to be like, okay, like I care enough about this dude to not want to see him go out this way.
Yeah.
But in the original version, I'm like, I really don't give a shit about their fucking dad.
No, for sure.
So that is kind of like to me. I do think sometimes this movie can, I mean, not that it's not supposed to be serious, but I think sometimes it tries to be too serious than what it actually is. Like it's kids fighting.
Yeah.
And like,
it's insane. Yeah.
I don't know, like, just wasn't my favorite to me. I think just because it goes like so fast, and then you do have like a pretty big like slowdown in the middle once they get introduced to
Andy.
Colonel Andrew Tanner.
Yeah. Way better in the old one, if you ask me. I love me some Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but he's boring as fuck in the new one.
I don't know, like
he's just military guy. He literally just says all of the military stuff, and that's it.
I think I'm down for.
That's fine. It's like, just what it is, bro. The new one is just a Call of Duty movie.
Exactly, and I think that's why I like it so much.
I'm more down for the 80s though. I like and I will say this is like, I think that the original movie, despite how heavy and grounded the new one tried to be, I think the original movie is way more deep than the 100%. Second one could ever be.
100%.
Because the character stuff that happens over the course of that time, I think is surprisingly fucking good. the fact that like these children do start to break down and do crazy shit to each other and like have these crazy decisions that they don't know if they can make or not because there's like traitors and like bloodthirsty ones among them all of a sudden. Like they fucking get fucked up for sure. And like I think once, because both of these movies do not sell me on it being a realistic fact that a bunch of children are taking on a trained military apparatus. I don't buy it. And no matter how gung-ho patriotism you want to be, no way a bunch of American kids with some fucking 22s are going to take on these people, right? So once I got over that, I was down for what I think the purpose of the movie is the progression of the effect that war can have on somebody. Yeah. It's just done through children and in a really cheesy, over-the-top Wolverines kind of way. Yeah. But I respect the old one more for trying to do that versus the new one is 1,000% a glorification of war. 100%. It's just a 100%. U.S. Marine military ad, and I fucking hated it for that. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was terrible. Like, it's just too gung-ho. Everything about the old one in terms of theme is just gone. They treat the main character in my mind with total and utter disrespect. Jed just gets fucking domed in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Just taken out, bro. Just headshot and he's just dead. That's it. No like last goodbyes, no nothing. Like that was bullshit to me. When that happened, he kind of had like a last goodbye with Matt. Yeah, he does, but like he doesn't need to have a last goodbye with everyone else. No, not necessarily. But I just mean that he didn't have the heroic death of like getting shot in the chest and being like, you got to go out without me, bud. Like, go. Like, they just fucking sniped his ass. Like, did you play Halo Reach? Probably. Okay. There's a campaign character who gets taken out similarly. And it is also very disappointing because it's just like, to me, that's a pretty fucked up way. Like, the other characters who die have better deaths than Jed does. Homie gets taken out. I can't remember who his name is. They changed some of the names too between the two movies, which is annoying to me because I just want it. They take so much from the old one. There's like literal conversations lifted from the old one. Just keep the fucking character names. Yeah. But anyway, there's one of the dude who goes out in like the bombing, right? Like when they take out the base and like he blows up or whatever. Oh yeah. His is like sort of like whatever, like, but it's not that bad as just getting shot in the head out of nowhere. And then other homie dies fucking trying to save Josh Peck. What's his Maddie, right? Yeah. The guy, I think his name's Greg in the movie. Yeah, tries to save him. Yeah, and then gets shot down. Yeah. Like those are better, bro. Like he's literally just like, good talk, pal. Dead. Yeah, true. Over. True. Very true. I hated that part about it for sure. But like, yeah, there was just, I don't know. I think that I would have probably had a better time with that movie. A, had I watched it before I watched the original. Uh-huh. And B, in reality, if it just wasn't a Red Dawn remake. Yeah. If it was just a movie that, whatever, they had the same fucking premise and blah, 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 but they weren't trying to make it a little remake because, like I said, there's too many things where they just lift dialogue or jokes or scenarios or even just little Easter eggs from the original. But it is vastly different from what the original was in my mind. Because like I said, I think the first one, it's not like the most incredible, like Oscar-worthy movie of all time. But for a cheesy 80s action war flick, again, more deep than I would have expected. Because I was really down with like, I was genuinely surprised at every twist and turn that they took in that movie. Maybe because I was more invested. But when Aardvark dies and Andy dies, they're like the first to go, I think. I was fucking pissed. I was like, no! Like, I was upset. I literally screamed no in the middle of watching the movie, right? And then the other one that's crazy, too, which, again, I think is better in the first movie, is the traitor scenario. Yes. I don't like them just injecting him with the fucking tracker and then all they just give it away. It's bullshit. It's just given away right away. It's way more surprising in the original. It's like, shit. You leave that whole scene in the second movie already knowing like, oh, they're tracking this fool, you know? They're gonna get taken out. I guess like I think that also just like speaks to the times too as well, because I think that is like a very 2012 thing. Yeah, like, it's like they injected him with a tracker. We're tracking him now. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, way better in the Russians and we're tracking him. Yeah. Wait, North Korea and the fucking but it's the Russians. Oh yeah, that get him. Oh, that's right. That's right, because they bring him in after Spetsnaz, special forces. But yeah, fucking. First of all, I think the reveal is way better. And secondly, the scene immediately following it is fucking intense, where like Jed is obviously pissed, and they're far gone at this point. They've been in war for like the last like 2 months or something like that, and is like gonna fucking execute him basically. And the like other, I can't remember if that guy's Cuban or Russian, but the other enemy that they captured or whatever, and he can't do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the bloodthirsty homie, I'm forgetting his name. Robert. Yeah, it's fucking what's his name, right? Pony Boy.
C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah. Fucking is just like, well, I can do it. Fuck you, and takes him out really quick. And then even he, I think, has a moment of like, oh shit, like
he's like, what did I just fucking do?
Yeah, like I just killed my fucking friend. Like holy fuck. But like those moments in the movie, and like I think. In this, I think I don't know, because I haven't seen enough Patrick Swayze stuff. In these movies, though, I think Patrick Swayze does a way better job in terms of acting than Chris Hemsworth does in the remake.
Yeah, it's hard to compare the two.
It is, yeah. They're like meant to be different characters for sure. But I love the moments where Patrick Swayze breaks down in this movie. I think they're really good, especially because he's like trying to hold up his father's like... that's all he can do, right? Because he's still a kid too. I think there's like a line in the beginning where he's trying to tell everyone, you're just a bunch of scared kids, you don't know what to do, and one of them says back to him like, yeah, well, what are you? And he doesn't respond, because he is also just a scared kid. He just happens to be a little older than them. And so I think he's just gripping onto literally the last thing that he got from his dad, which is don't fucking cry, like turn it into rage, turn it into vengeance, we got to kill these fucking bastards. And like that's all he has, because he's like, what, maybe 20, like in his early 20s? Because
I think he still goes to the school.
Okay, yeah, because like he still knows a bunch of the kids in high school.
Yeah.
Right? Like all of them know who he is. So at the very least, he was like a senior, like the year before or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just like, I don't know, it feels, the first movie to me feels a lot more impactful. And there are parts that actually got me. I wasn't like crying or anything like that, but there are parts where I was definitely like, damn, this is heavy. Like I did not expect to get this from this type of movie.
Yeah, like I do think there are character developments that are definitely like really solid in this movie, like with Robert. You know, I think Robert to me is definitely the most impactful. Like to me, that's the one that jumped out to me the most, because
he loses his dad first, right?
Exactly.
And he goes off the deep end, bro.
That scene where he's like chopping shit on the fucking wood, and Andy's just like, the hate's gonna burn you up, kid. And he looks back at him, he's like, that's what keeps me warm.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He's fucking marking up his fucking kills on his shotgun. Yeah, savage,
so fucking
bro.
crazy. So that is crazy, especially like keeping in mind that he's a fucking kid, and this is what war is doing. I do 100% stand by that. I do think that like both of these are like a glorification of war, because like,
that's
the
fair.
first one is just like, look at these kids banding together and fighting this big
for America.
For America.
Yeah, big time.
Like when it's like, no, like we don't want 16-year-old fucking kids.
That's very
fighting
old ways
for that.
of thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like Civil War shit.
So like I wasn't down with like that part for like either of these movies for sure. But again, like you were saying, like seeing the effects of war has on people, like I forget what his name is, but he's just like, he's the general for like the Cuban side.
That was another part that I was going to bring up. Yeah, I forget his name too, but yeah.
Because like you kind of like see it, like he has a conversation with, I forget what his fucking like name is that he's having a conversation, but he's telling him, he's like, I'm not used to being on this side.
That's like, I love that shit.
He's like, I'm used to being it like an insurgent. Like I'm not used to this like at all.
Because he's Cuban.
And I was just like, damn, like this is like, and I love seeing his progression throughout, like seeing like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Like like the letter that he writes at the end, I thought was so fucking
awesome, bro.
good,
that shit's amazing.
Really, really fucking good.
It just has him listed as Bella.
Okay.
I guess.
But yeah, his progression was really good. You know?
It was great.
Especially like,
you don't get that from a villain in an 80s movie like that.
You don't.
No.
You know, so I thought that was really, really fucking good. Especially him letting Maddie and Jed go get away.
Yep.
And I also kind of liked like whoever did the fucking makeup for that scene. Like,
it looked crazy.
It looked crazy because Jed looks just like,
he looks like he's fucking dying.
Like he looks fucked up. And the
lines are great too.
I was literally like, holy shit! Like, and I was like, I rewound it and like watched it again. I was like, damn, this one looks fucked up.
That scene is awesome too, because it's like, for one, just to bring this up really quickly here, there's another part where I'm more sold on the first movie. Is the brother relationship, I think, is a lot better in this one, and it's like that older brother just like not knowing what to do, but still just pushing through the shit and keeping your younger sibling right like on your back because that's all you know how to do. Of like, what does he say? He's like Maddie's probably already dead. At the very least, he's like on his last like couple fucking seconds of life or whatever. He's like unconscious, right? And he's like, I got you, brother. He's like, you can lean on me. You can lean on me. He's like, I'm real tired though.
Yeah.
But you can keep leaning on me. Like, he's like, I'm fucking done too, buddy, but I still fucking got you, dude, to the end. Like, oh, so good.
I thought the delivery of a lot of Patrick Swayze's lines were really, really fucking good.
Awesome, but he's just awesome in general.
He's super fucking awesome. I wasn't super down for the like, turn it into something else.
No, that's
turn into something else.
Yeah,
I didn't really like that. Yeah. I wasn't like super down for the
whole vengeance thing.
The vengeance, and also just like, I don't want to see you crying again. Yeah, don't let anyone see you cry. I'm like, damn, this is such like toxic fucking
80s masculinity.
Toxic masculinity shit going on, you know. But I was thinking about it, and I think it is impactful for him to say that and then later cry after that. So I thought that's good, you know.
Good shit, bro.
It's good to double back on that and be like, look at this character who was literally like, don't fucking cry.
Yeah.
And then when he's literally pushed to his fucking limit and has to execute someone that was pretty much his friend and his brother up until this point, like,
you can't do it, man.
It's crazy, man. Like he couldn't go through with it.
Yeah. He still got his humanity.
You lose. Like,
yeah,
that shit
terrible.
I liked that.
You did? Okay. I liked the line, but I was like, you literally could have survived if you just shot him, bro.
Exactly.
You lose.
But just the delivery of it was fucking good.
Yeah, because it's fucking Swayze, bro.
And it's so easy to just fuck that up. It's so easy to say it in just such a fucking bad way.
Well, we were talking about that, right? Is that's like, you don't get those anymore. You don't get those one-liners before the final kill, bro.
And that shit was good, bro.
Yeah. They tried to do one in the next one, and I hate it.
What was it in the next one?
You fucked with the wrong family.
Oh, yeah, that shit was dumb.
Stupid.
That shit was
that
shit.
Dope. Yeah.
That shit was dumb.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the first movie, or the original one. Again, I could see enjoying the remake a little bit more. Well, we'll get into that one right now. But
I would even say I enjoy the remake more. Like, I definitely rate the old one higher than
I do too.
Higher than the second one. But I'm just like, I'm not really the most down for both of them.
Like, so I will say I am down for the original Red Dawn, just because I could see how in the 80s it would seem very much like propaganda. And so therefore it definitely was, because that's when it came out.
Yeah.
But viewing it now, it feels far enough removed for a entertainment content junkie like myself.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me as much. The new one hits a little bit too close to home. So like, and also because they dive deeper into like what the effects of being in war like happens, it's like a little bit better for me. Like, my favorite war movie is Lone Survivor.
Okay.
Because that one is fucking real as shit. Like, that one's crazy, right?
You ever watch Black Hawk Down?
No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah. I've heard that one's good too.
Brother, I'm gonna invite you over one day, and I'm gonna get me, you, and my dad to sit down and watch Black Hawk Down, and that fool will turn that fucking TV up, and
hell, dude, yeah, I'm down for that.
That's like, I love Lone Survivor. That's a fucking crazy war movie.
I'm down. Okay.
Have you also seen like Zero Dark 30?
Yeah, I've seen that one before. Yeah, those were it's the Lone Survivor is like an outlier, but most of the time I don't like modern war movies, because I'm just, it feels, again, like it's just like a weird ick of like, I can stomach historical wars by our standpoint because they're done and over with. When they're making movies about the wars that we're in right now, it feels weird to me. It feels like too icky, you know?
I feel you.
So anyways, going back to Red Dawn original, for all the reasons I've said up until this point, I think it's surprisingly not crazy deep, but I think it's deeper than like your traditional like 80s war action movie. It's
pretty political.
Yeah, very political for sure. I think I like a lot of the things that they try to say. They might not be exploring them in like the most high art way, but they do sneak some interesting ideas into what is essentially just like a fun action movie at the end of the day. And so for that, I appreciate it. It also has a crazy star-studded cast. You have C. Thomas Howell, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Patrick Swayze. Leah Thompson and Jennifer Grey are both in this movie, who are both like childhood crushes for me from the 80s. That's Leah Thompson, for me, I always remember her as Marty McFly's mom.
Okay.
And then Jennifer Grey was in Dirty Dancing with Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
So I love them.
Uh-huh.
Always had crushes on them. So it was great to see them again.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen always is in everything at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy cast, all super good. Again, like, I don't know. I enjoyed this one more. I think that it tried to do more with what they had, and for that I appreciated it. But yeah, I would probably give it an 8.
Okay.
I was ready to just give it like a 7, but once I started thinking about it, and I was like, no, damn, I did like all that extra stuff that they tried to put in there to do a little more. It bumps it up a little bit more for me.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things I like about this movie. Like, there are some line deliveries that I really like. I think the sets are really good. Like, the scenery is really, really nice. Obviously, star-studded cast. I think they all do like a really amazing job. Especially like C. Thomas Howell's definitely like as Robert awesome. Was probably my favorite character.
Yeah.
I did like the timeline that they were laying out when they were showing you like it's October, it's November, it's for January. Like
felt long.
Like I liked that because you're like, damn, these fools are really fucking at it for like a long time.
Yep.
I mean, there were a lot of the line deliveries that I just like didn't like.
There's a lot of cheesy 80s shit.
A lot of cheesy 80s shit.
Especially the action too.
Do you think it was really fucking long? Like I really didn't need it.
2 hours.
I didn't need it to be 2 hours.
It's like 156, I think.
Yeah. I think if you cut it down like 15 minutes, I'm pretty down.
Yeah, I think 145 would be good.
I'm pretty down for that.
Yep. Maybe even like 150.
Yeah. Some of the action, like obviously it's the 80s, so I can't hold it a lot of too much. And like the sound effects, the pew pew.
Yeah, pew, pew. I love that shit.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like whatever for me, but I try not to hold that against older movies because that's just what it was back then. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't ask for too much.
No, yeah. And I don't know. For me personally, I'll always take like a choice over realism. Yeah. Realism to me is boring.
Okay.
I don't want it to sound exactly like a real gun.
Okay.
I want it to sound like an action hero's gun.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So I'd rather it go instead of like or whatever, you know?
True.
This is not a sound effects podcast. That's one thing we're not.
I really could have done without like the weird Andy freaking
me too. That was weird.
Relationship.
I did not like, I'll never love again. I was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, Jesus Christ.
This was literally a grown ass man, and this chick is fucking 16, in high school.
15, like
this is crazy.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like when she's like, "How old's your wife?" and asking him that, and she was just like, "Oh, how's your wife? Like, what do you like about her?" And he was just like, she's feisty, like
just like you.
And I was just like, that's fucking gross. So I'm low-key glad that fool fucking died.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would rate it like a 7, honestly. Like I don't think it was like the worst movie ever. There's a lot to like about it, but it's not a movie that I'm like really itching to go back to.
Sure.
You know,
I'll probably watch it again at some. I think it would be fun to watch it again, like with my dad.
Okay.
Because he's told me about it before. And now that like I was able to like experience it on my own and have a good time, I think it would be fun to watch it with him. Yeah.
I feel that.
Wolverines.
Yeah.
That shit's cool. That's a good name.
Yeah, I do like that. Well, actually, a very funny part in this movie that I really like laughed at and I watched like a couple times is when they go to like the national park and he's like, "Oh, what does it say right here?" And he's just like, "Oh, it was the place of a final battle and like 35,000 people died."
Bro, that shit is like low-key fucking hilarious.
So
I was
funny,
laughing my ass off, bro. It's like President FDR like issued this park as the national safety for the Forest Association. It's like the greatest battle at the last war of America. It's so funny, bro.
35,000 people died.
Dude, that shit was like hilarious. And everybody's just like, "Oh, bravo. That was great translation." Yeah. That shit was funny, dude. Yeah.
That shit was really good. Yeah. And I was like surprised, but I was like, damn, I did not expect like something that was this funny to be.
When everything else is cheesy as fuck, it's like one good
cheesy
joke.
And also just like super serious. Like there's nothing else outside of that moment that is like funny.
No, everything gets pretty serious. Yeah, they have like their little lighthearted moments here and there where they like kind of try to cheer each other up, but it's always because something crazy just happened.
Nothing like a "what do you miss about the regular life?"
Oh god, that scene. Yeah. I cannot do the fucking new one, bro. I did not like the new one at all.
Dude, I mean, it's always gonna hold the place in my heart.
I think it would have been different if I saw it. I
remember watching it just as a kid and being like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm ready for a Red Dawn 2." Like, let's get it, you know?
For sure.
It's just I was thinking about it. It's just like I think, like if you mix the best parts about each of these movies together, I think you
good.
get a really fucking
Overall,
solid movie,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because I think the new movie tries to do some stuff that they really don't land on. Like, I think they try to dive deeper into like the interpersonal relationships between different people within the group, which I think is a good thing to do, because you are showing like the effects of that, like, I mean, if they did it right,
Yeah.
it'd be the effects of war has on people, and also like the effects that it has on the relationships that you have with these people as well.
Yeah.
But they just don't, like, it's really just more like drama.
Things
for
are
the
just
sake of
solved too
drama.
quickly. They bring up cool problems. Like, I really like the whole scenario with I cannot remember. He said his name was Greg, right?
Yeah.
I think it's his sister.
Yeah, I think her name's like Julie or something like that.
So like he fucking dies because of Maddie, and she's like pissed off, rightfully so. And yeah, like that's it. They're just cool after that. Like
Yeah,
he's
Maddie just goes away for a little bit.
yeah, and then he just comes back, and she's like, "It's cool, bro."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm Josh from Drake and Josh." That was the other thing that was hard for me, bro. It's too for me. I can't do Josh Peck. I apologize if you, for whatever reason, ever watch this. Cannot watch you in anything else, my brother. I can't do it.
I just got the vibe that he was trying to be too,
Not Josh.
not Josh, but just like trying to be like, look, I can act.
That's what I mean.
Like, I can be a serious actor.
I know that already.
And I don't, yeah, exactly. I don't
because you were
doubt
actually
that.
good on Drake and Josh in certain points. There were parts where you made me cry, my dude. But like, yeah, it's just too much, bro.
I think he has like some good flashes in this movie, but like overall wasn't really down.
No,
for-
yeah, he's not bad. It's just hard. It's just difficult to like. It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's sometimes where you could just take too hard of a left turn, I think, when you're trying to make that move out of child star. And I think this was a little too far left.
Because this is 2012, so it's very much right
Like a few years
after Drake and Josh and everything like that, and probably still being heavily associated with like
Big time.
just
Just
Nickelodeon and
yeah.
things like that in general because of who you are, and you're just a staple of that freaking
Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
spit on their name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, and I think they tried to do like a thing with Jed and Maddie of them being like feuding brothers because of the death of their mom.
Yeah.
But they just don't land on it. It's just very like, you weren't here for me when mom died. And Jed's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. You know, like to me, if you're going to go for something like that, it's got to be more than just like, oh yeah, obviously these fools are pissed at each other about something. Like, let's dive into that early on in the fucking movie and let's let that be a reoccurring theme that pops up throughout the movie and then come to a really good resolution
for it. That was the part that's hard for me, was how they solved it, was because like I was okay with everything about that up until they make up, because like I like that there's like tension between them in the beginning. You like kind of know what it's about, but not really. And then it is cheesy, but again, it's fine for me in a movie like this. I don't need it to be like super intense, like dramatic delivery. Or I feel lucky to get like a Patrick Swayze performance in a movie like this, because that's not what I expect from a movie like this, right? But what's hard for me is like the way that they make up is just by like killing a bunch of bad guys together.
Yeah.
And then like Chris Hemsworth is like, all right, you're more like a Marine now. You're cool, bro. Like you actually did a good job out there this time. Like I fucks with you again.
Well, I mean, they make up in the moment where like Maddie goes off and then fucking Jed chases after him, and then they have that like, yeah, like I left for 3 days.
Yeah.
When mom died, you left for 6 years.
Yeah.
And Jed's like, fuck, you got me, man.
Yeah.
You got me. You're right. And then they like make up there, like they're cool.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of cool then, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. They set up a lot of, I think, good points in this movie. They just don't land on them.
Yeah.
You know, it's very just 2012. Like, I'm fine with the 134 runtime. Like, I really liked that.
I think it's a
like
better
that
runtime. It was just like it wasn't utilized as well, I think. Because to me, this one felt way too fast.
Yeah.
Like everything seems like it happened in like a weekend.
Exactly. Like without
yeah.
knowing, like without having a physical, like tangible timeline where that I can go back to. Like I'm like, oh, this shit happened in 3 weeks.
I think
like,
it genuinely does happen in like
they
a week
overthrew the
in this
North
one.
Korean military in 3 weeks.
No, I think they like again. There's no passage of time, like unless they just forgot. Because if I'm not mistaken, there's never like a subtitle or anything, right? That like indicates the time has passed.
Never.
The season doesn't change.
Nope.
The city
never.
stays relatively the same as it was. Doesn't get nearly as like taken over as it does in the first movie.
Their hair stays the exact fucking
Yeah,
same.
so like it happens in like a week.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like it's
They just learned to fight in a week.
yeah, like that was the thing. That was part of where I was more down at first, and then I got let down because, to me, it would have been cool if Chris Hemsworth had them in the mountains and was like training them for like months, and then
Yeah.
they came out as like these crazy fucking gorilla child fighters, right? Like cool, but nope, they just like all figure it out real quick, and then are just like dude, if I'm not mistaken, it is not easy to aim a firearm, especially at distance. These are 16-year-old kids, like, hitting headshots from, like, a fucking roof that's, like, down the block and shit. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Those ones are, I get that they were going for because it's more, like, tactical espionage, military, right? Of, like, fucking breach and clear, like down, blah blah blah. Like it's more modern warfare, right?
Yeah.
But it made more sense to me.
Dude, we're living Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. But it made more sense to me that kids were spraying and praying AKs than it does them being like, target down. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That shit was insane to me.
Yeah.
I also didn't love the Jed being a military man already thing. Because I think that's part of what makes his character so intriguing to me is that like he is a vulnerable person who has to become that cold military leader, versus like in this he just shows up like that, and that's just how he is the whole time. And then he like makes up with his brother, but he doesn't really change. He's still kind of like the asshole, do what I fucking say, like guy the whole time. He's just less warm in this one, and I didn't like it.
I'm like honestly super down for him being a military dude because it's just easier for me to wrap my mind around. Military dude teaches kids how to do military stuff versus like kids learn how to do this stuff and fend for themselves for months against a highly trained a foreign government, a foreign military operation, you know?
Yeah, it's just like the hard part for me is that like in a movie scenario that is already wildly unrealistic to me, I want better character stuff rather than something that like makes more sense.
Okay.
Because it just already doesn't make sense. I don't need you to like ground this story for me because no matter how hard you try, it's not going to fucking make sense. Kids are not going to take on an army like this. It's just not 7 of them. Maybe if there's like an army of them, sure, like a whole nation full of like child guerrilla fighters. It's happened before, right? Like shit has gone like I said, even in the Civil War, it was like 16-year-old kids fighting and shit in war. So it's not unheard of. But there's like less than 10 of them.
Yeah.
And they take on like a whole city full of fucking trained military people. So like the scenario just, you don't need to ground it for me. I think that's what I had a hard time with. This movie tried to be too grounded.
Okay.
This version of it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. A little too Chris Nolan for me.
Yeah. I did like some of like the handheld stuff they were doing with the camera and shit like that.
It helps
I thought that
with
was
the energy.
really cool.
It feels more frantic at times, right? Because you get like the shaky cam when they're like running away and shit. Like, yeah.
I did like, again, in the beginning, like I was down for like the speech and everything that the dad gave. Like it just felt more, like it just felt more impactful from like knowing him.
A little more.
Yeah. The football game in the beginning, cheesy as fuck, corny as fuck. Didn't really need that.
Yeah, fucking Josh. Again, that was another thing. I think it was just also the actors. For
I
me.
need to stop being a cowboy. Huh, if I would have done that, we still be back on the 20-yard line, coach.
God,
shut the fuck
terrible.
up, dude.
Yeah, like,
shut up.
Dude, it's the actors too, I think is what's hard for me because like it's difficult. First of all, I can't do Chris Hemsworth in this movie because his accent fucking sucks, in my opinion. I think it's really bad. And again, I just don't like his version, or it's not his version. It's what they wrote this time. It's not his fault, but I don't like the version of the character that was written for this one. And like, I cannot do Josh Peck in this movie.
Yeah, no.
It's too hard. He's just like, he still has the long Josh hair that's still kind of in his face. And he's trying to be like the cool jock guy who doesn't listen to anybody, and he's like the rebel. I'm gonna do what I want.
I really wish like Josh Peck and Josh Hutcherson like switch roles.
That would be cool because I think Josh Hutcherson's a better actor.
I think he does like such a good job. Like
he's cool.
Movie.
He's good in this. I think he's also good because like this was still when he was pretty young, and you can already see flashes of like his better, more emotional stuff that he does later, in like Hunger Games and like some of the other stuff that he's been in that I probably haven't seen yet. But yeah, I agree. I liked him more than I did Josh. I honestly liked him more than I did Chris Hemsworth too. I'll be honest, yeah. And I think that was another weak point for me.
Robert, probably my favorite character.
In both movies. Yeah. That was another thing too that I thought was kind of lost. Was like it felt less like a team to me in the remake, and it felt more like the brothers movie. And then like Robert was in it a little bit. Yeah. The girls were just there to be like sexy military girls. Yeah. For the most part, you know.
Like, oh, diversity. We have diversity in the workplace.
Dude, it's also just like really weird the way they try to do it, at least in my mind, because like your first introduction to a woman in this movie is Josh's girlfriend. And he gets in the car and she like hits him in the dick or like in the stomach right here. And he's like, when is this going to get fun for me? And she's like, pussy, and like drives off and it's like in her fucking Mustang or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad that they're trying to do this, but that's just a guy. That's just a dude. Yeah. And you just like put a girl in that place. Like, you know, like it was just weird. I didn't love it. It wasn't my favorite. I'm glad that like they tried to give them more of an introduction because the girls do just show up like halfway through the movie, maybe a little less than halfway in the original Red Dawn.
Oh yeah, they're talking to the dude that has like the house.
Yeah, he keeps like supplying them every once in a while.
He's like, here, take my granddaughters.
Yeah, and like Patrick Swayze's just like, yeah, okay, like, cool, no worries. So like they do just show up. So I appreciate that they tried to give more of a relationship stuff in there, and I was all right with it with Tony. Like I thought it was cute that like, you know, that Jed was like a couple years older than her and like she always had a crush. And so like, you know, it felt like what they were maybe trying to do with like the Erica and Andy thing in the first movie, but like I guess slightly more appropriate. It's still not the best because he's like probably a few years older than her, but it seems like they at least went to high school together. Yeah. So it's like not like, I guess it's not, I don't know.
They grew up together.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So it's not like as weird, first of all.
And they seem like adults within the same age range.
Yeah, close enough. Like it's not, like so that, but for every decent enough thing that they did with Tony, I was absolutely pissed at everything they did with the new version of Erica because she's
just a damsel in distress.
Fucking annoying, and everything that happens with that movie in relation to her is fucking annoying as shit to me. I hate it so much because like I do not want to deal with. I just don't care about the drama that comes from like, like I don't like in the same way that you're saying of like. How it's hard to like get behind them being so like torn up about the dad. I don't give a fuck about Josh being sad about his girlfriend because like I don't care.
Erica's my family.
No,
it's like, bro, how long have you been dating?
I mean,
Erica?
Yeah, like they're probably high school sweethearts. So like, you know, that only works out every once in a while. More often than not, that doesn't last very long. So like, yeah, that part was just super annoying to me. Like, I just didn't need a romance. In the movie. No. It's not really present.
You had two of them. You had two romances.
Yeah, because it's movie. Also the older brother and Tony, right? Chris Hemsworth and Tony. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. They have, like, the weird flirty thing that happens with the sergeant or whatever in Erica in the first one. And that's weird and annoying. But other than that, there's no, like, heavy romance in it. And so, like, yeah, I don't know. It just very much felt like a typical shit show of why people it feels like part of the reason why people hate reboots so much.
100%.
I'm like that's what's hard for me about it is I'm like, okay, I get it. Like if I grew up watching, I love it now, so I can only imagine if I grew up watching the original one and then this came out,
it's like fuck,
I would hate it, bro, more than I already hate it now. Like I already have an attachment to the old one off of just watching it the one time. So yeah, like I get it. It's not. It feels very much like it checks off all the boxes of that classic just shit reboot where they just take a concept and stick all the things that they think you'll probably like in it, you know, action, romance, like tragedy, whatever. They just don't know what to do, so they just throw everything at the wall, and none of it really sticks.
Yeah, I kind of like some of the callbacks. You know,
They're cool.
I think getting the football game in the beginning was cool because, like, in the original, you just
they talk about it.
They just talk about it. You know, I think seeing it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought staying true to like seeing all the troopers like parachuting out of the sky
was cool.
Was really cool.
I will say that I do like the build up to the war better in the new movie. Because for one, I agree. I think it's paced better. I think you have more of a time to like feel safe in this little town of, I think they're in Spokane, right? It's not a little town. It's like a big city this time.
Yeah.
But you have more time to feel safe there before it becomes threatened. And then when it does become threatened, it's like way more intense.
Yeah. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Like it feels hardcore when they drop in because it's like a ton of them. And there's like airships and stuff too, like crashing into the houses next to them and stuff. It's way more Michael Bay.
Yeah.
But it feels more intense.
I caught that vibe so hard. I was like, damn, this is Michael Bay inspired.
Yeah. The explosions
100%.
are insane. Like they'll shoot a tire and it's like blows up the car or some shit like that.
I like them making the joke about drinking like the deer's blood, like when they're like man, like like drink it, blah blah blah, and they're like, oh, what is it supposed to make me like one with like the deer spirit or whatever? They're like, just fucking drink it, and they drink it, and he's like, bro, we've never done that shit.
That was funny, but I also was like, okay, they're just psychotic though, because that's not like a good prank.
No, they're fucking around.
That's a crazy fucking prank.
I don't know. I just think it's funny to poke fun at that because that's one of the things in the original where I was just like, this
insane.
is fucking dumb.
Yeah,
like,
it's ridiculous.
Drink it and you'll become one with the deer spirit in the forest. And he's just like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Well, I like that because it's Robert.
Yeah.
And so what I like about that is they tell him, I feel like it's this thing of in the original movie that like Jed and Maddie kind of get what their dad's saying, but they don't really like believe it. It's more just like, again, they're holding on to tradition type of thing. But what they say at the end is like, once you drink this, something changes and you can never go back to what you were before. And so the fact that it's Robert that drinks that and then he goes on the journey that he does, I think that's good. I like it.
That's true.
I like it. So that's why I was kind of upset that they're poking fun at this thing because I think it was like a surface level read of like, that's fucking stupid, bro. Because it's like 2012 guys being like, that's fucking lame, dude. Like, let's make fun of that shit. You know, I don't know. That was my.
I feel you. No,
I liked it.
I
liked
feel
it.
You, though.
I thought it was good. But, you know, it's okay. It is what it is. Like I said, I think if I had either A, watched this one before I saw the original, or B, it was just not Red Dawn. It was just like literally if it was just a Call of Duty movie, like I would be more down for it, you know?
True.
Like if it just steered more into something new and like of the time than trying to like do the callback thing, I think it would have been cooler. But I agree though, like a lot of the moments where they do try to bring back some of the stuff from the originals was cool. I wish that they would have like kept the what do you call it? They don't have like a final like saying sort of thing or whatever in the original movie, but they kind of try to do this like thing in the second one where like I kind of liked when Chris Hemsworth does his speech in the beginning of like, we're going to have to learn how to go to war. This will be easier for me because I've already done it. But for you, you're going to have to make a choice. Blah, 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 whatever he says, right? Like, I like that. I think it's good. I hate it when Josh says it at the end though, because it's like, you've been at war for like a week, dude. Like, and you probably still don't even know like what's gonna happen to you.
Well, again, like even at the end, it's just like, how much time has fucking passed?
It doesn't. They don't try to make that a point of the movie. I think they're not concerned with that part. I think it's more just like, I think that's also what it was. Is that like I had expectations that it was going to try to do what the first movie did, and I don't think they had any intention of doing that. I think they were trying to tell a different story about two brothers going through. They leaned in more on that stuff. It was present in the first movie, right? But I think they really put like a spotlight on that in this one. And like you said, some of it just didn't really hit for what they had lined up. And so it just ended up being like, because I agree with you. I think that if you combine the two of them together, it's like fucking stellar. It's like probably like a 9, bro. It's like actually a good war movie.
Yeah.
But it's just like a, I don't know. It's a 50-50. It's a hard one.
I'm just here thinking about that deer shit that you said, and you saying that like makes me more down for the deer stuff in the
first one.
In the first one,
yeah, because it makes sense. Like there's better writing in the first one, dude. Like some of it actually is good.
It's a good artistic setup.
Yes, like it's actually it's good writing. Like it's actually a good movie.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I don't know. I was bummed. I was bummed watching the second.
Now I am bummed. But I kind of just like it as like a joke. I don't know.
It's still funny.
Like I think the joke is funny.
I still
like, yeah, dude, we never did that shit before.
I still cracked a smirk at it. Like I'm not gonna say it didn't make, because you know me too. I'm a cheesy guy, so like cheesy jokes get me. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, I don't know. It just felt like it took a lot of the stuff that I liked from the first one and either took it out, made fun of it, or tried to modernize it in a way that I just didn't need.
This one was very much like good guys versus bad guys.
Yeah, versus like the other one was like, again, what happens to you in war? Like you start to make crazy decisions, bad shit starts to happen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I am glad though that they didn't have any kids executing each other. Like I was.
Yeah, that was crazy in the first one. Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, damn, this is like
hardcore.
This is crazy.
That scene got dark. That shit gets heavy.
That's where I feel like in that movie, like it goes too serious. Like sometimes, you know, where I'm just like, okay, I don't think like I need to see kids killing each other. Like
no,
that,
yeah, it's crazy.
You know, like I get it. Like they've gone through some crazy changes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I think that's just like a little too much.
I think it's just too much for that genre. Is what it is.
It's like if you're gonna give me some shit like that, like just make them adults at that point.
Well, the other but that's what I mean is I think it's just the genre, because I think we're willing to accept pretty fucked up shit.
Yeah,
as long 100%. As it's set up correctly.
Yeah,
like we watch Game of Thrones.
Yep,
and that literally has tons of child murder and incest and crazy shit. But it's because it's presented to us as like an 80s action flick that like it just pushes out of the boundaries too far. And I can agree with that. I think at times it does dip its toe like a little too far. Like they have a good balance going for most of the movie, and then there's a couple times where you just lose it. Like I think again the dad scene, I agree with you 100%. Like that was ass, super cheesy. Didn't like it. I also will say that like not the deaths of the group. I think the deaths of the group suck in the new one, as I've said, but the deaths of the adults around them I think are more impactful. In the new movie, because like in the old one they just all get executed in a line, or they just die off
crazy.
Screen. Yeah,
just crazy.
Yeah, or they just die off screen.
Yeah,
like they don't even like talk. They just talk about it, right? So I do think it's more impactful to like see it or whatever. But again, that's part of why I like the old one. Is it's like to me, even though the old one is more cheesy, it's more realistic to me. Than what this one tries to do.
Yeah.
Because it makes more sense to me that a invading force would just line up American civilians and execute them in the street.
Yeah.
Then give them a chance to have a patriotic speech before they get fucking domed, you know? Like, it just, so I don't know. It's just, I think it's very clear at this point how I feel about the two movies. So I'm just going to leave it be. I feel like I'm just ragging too hard now. So.
Nah, fuck it. I mean, this movie's not good.
It's not
by
good.
Any means. Like are there like, I think the action's pretty cool. Like that shit's fun. Like obviously it's 2012. Like it's
better.
It better be better.
Better action.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think that's just like what this movie banks on like a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's a product of the time.
Yeah.
It's a movie from 2012. What are you going to do?
I will say I did like the moment that Josh Hutcherson's Robert character has, like on the roof, where they're like getting like pinned down, like people are shooting him, and he like runs across and fucking shoots them. And he's like, Wolverines! I was down for that.
Yeah,
I was like,
epic.
That part felt earned. Whereas like in the first movie, that fool kind of just like stands up and is just like, Wolverines!
He says it after their first fight. Yeah. And everybody's like, Wolverines!
Whereas that felt like, okay, yeah. And especially him like growing into that, right? Like the Robert character is definitely a lot different than the original.
Yeah, he takes a lot longer to, and he, first of all, he doesn't go as dark.
Yeah, he 100% does it.
And then but it's just more of like him losing his innocence. Yeah. Because he starts as like one of the kids he wants to turn himself over.
Yeah.
And eventually becomes like one of the leading members of the team or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say I am honestly, I'm going to just say this as a caveat. If I hadn't seen the first one before, I probably would have given this a 6. But because I did like the first one so much, this movie's honestly like a 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say this one is a 5.5, and that 0.5 is from you watching as
the nostalgia.
The nostalgia.
It's just kind of bad, bro. Like it's hard to defend it, honestly.
I was honestly down for Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this. Like I think
He's just Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah,
So
he's just
cool.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
He's cool.
I didn't need the other Marines that were there, like the ones like,
Nah.
yeah, motard.
Yeah,
you know,
like, what is that?
A Marine and his gun. It's the deadliest weapon on earth.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, dude. Shut up.
He
I
was
didn't need
annoying. And also, too, I just liked it more that, like, it was this one dude who, like, his plane crashed.
that. Yeah.
And, like, he was a survivor out in there, and they found him rather than, like, no, Special Forces is here to help you out, son. Like, yeah.
We're not even there to help him out. He's there to, like, get help from them.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he's like, what is it? It's like, again, the cheesy action delivery that I love, it's hard for me to, like, not smile when it happens because I do like the lines and I do, like, again, crack a grin when he's like, you know, there's like that. It's a kind of clever scene, right? Where they come up and they're like, we're looking for the Wolverines. You guys heard of them? And they're like, what do you want with them? Right? And it's like kind of this back and forth. And then at the end of it, Chris Hemsworth walks past him and he's all, we're the Wolverines. And he's all, I was afraid of that.
Yeah, that's why I liked that so much. That was so good.
Like, I love that. Like, that's my favorite kind of cheese, you know?
Yeah, that shit was good.
It's good, yeah. That's just hard because, like, again, I think that was actually a somewhat interesting character. Creepy shit aside, in the old movie. Versus, again, in this one, they just bank on the fact that you like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And he's playing every military guy ever.
He's like, oh, he's a Marine.
That's it. He's just a Marine, yeah.
I did also find it funny when they were like, yeah, how are we going to get to that roof? And he's like, oh, we're going to jump. And they fucking jump. They take out the dudes.
Yeah.
And the Marine's like, fuck, hate these kids. And then they jump, but then they like throw down the rope. And they're like, what the fuck?
That was the other thing, too, that I was like, okay, this is like weird because it's stock Marine guy who's like the Marine with the good heart. And then it's like typical Marine guy who's like, boots on the ground, hoorah!
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, I'm not going to, I guess person of color? I don't know. It was Asian. But yeah, it was like token Marine guys. Like, we need somebody in there who's not white.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. Very 2012 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was okay.
It was fine.
It was all right.
It's fine. To be fair, there are much worse scores than you could give than a 5. 5 is middle of the road.
Yeah.
You know?
Halfway between
Good and bad.
1 and 10.
Just mediocre, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the best movie. I mean, you might have a fun time watching
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like, I definitely think it's something like an hour and a half if you want just a random war movie,
Easy
something that's
popcorn
not
flick.
crazy serious,
Yeah.
but like, you know, has a little bit to hint to seriousness in
Yeah.
it. You could definitely throw that little bad boy on.
Yeah,
and
easy
that'll
popcorn
be
flick.
pretty fine. Pretty fine. Pretty mighty fine.
Pretty mighty fine, all right.
But yeah, shit was a 5.5.
Yeah.
Go watch that shit, I guess. I don't know. I think
I
if you
recommend
have,
going to watch the original one.
yeah, watch the original. I think if you have Prime, you can watch the remake for free. So
Oh, yeah. I just got, I made a Roku account because it was free on Roku.
Roku.
It had ads, but they were like 30
Avatar
seconds.
Roku.
Avatar Roku, bro. Yeah. Roku's the homie, dude.
But all right, shall we move on to the fucking weeklies, bro? 'Cause
Yes.
these were definitely
Crazy.
so much fucking better.
I got to hit the bathroom.
You got to hit the
What are we going to
bathroom?
start with?
What do you want to start with? What are you feeling?
I think we can, I don't know. I want to talk Invincible pretty bad.
Okay.
But we can save it if you also want to talk about
I mean, I'm down
Invincible.
for whatever. I think I want to talk about both of them equally.
Okay,
as
how
bad.
about you surprise me?
I think I'm down for Invincible.
Okay,
Let's do-
all right.
let's
We'll
do
go
some
Invincible first. Okay, I'm going to use the bathroom really quick.
Okay. I am going to, I think, roll it up.
Hell yeah.
Because why not?
Invincible. I like the, what do you call it in this one? The Invincible gag
Mm-hmm.
with the fucking Comic-Con nerds.
Yeah.
We are.
Invincible.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I didn't get my fucking. Yeah, guys, how's it going? If you've tuned in this far into the episode, I hope you're enjoying it. You know where to follow us: Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that shit. 2R4TV, 2OHIGH4TV, and that's the number 4, motherfuckers. I don't want to see you put FOUR, FORE, FOR, any of that shit. It's the number 4. And ooh, I got this Tropicana from CBX, and it's pretty fucking cheesy. Pretty fucking. But yeah, I'm super excited to talk about some Invincible. It introduced a character that we've definitely been talking about the past couple of weeks, so that's pretty fucking exciting. I think it's just kept on the train of giving me everything that I like about the show in every single episode. Like, I think they do such a great job at diving into how the characters feel and all the shit that characters are going through, and really shining a light on what would if superheroes were real, like what would realistically be bad. Like, the relationship between Mark and Amber. When stuff's working, it's fucking great, you know? And I think it's really sweet, and I really like them when they can literally just be Mark and Amber. But because Mark is a fucking superhero, he's away a lot, and you really get to see how that takes a toll on Amber and on him and on their relationship, and especially on Mark, like getting to really diving into this episode on what the fuck he wants. Does he want to go to school? Does he want to be with Amber? Does he want to be a superhero? Like, what the fuck, bro? And then, like, they just give you some hella great action in this, like, episode 2. Like, I was just saying that the past 3 episodes each episode, they give me everything that I love about the show. Like, they give me great action, and they give me great character development, and we dive into these fucking characters, and we learn a lot. Like, these past few episodes, we've really been learning on how, like, if superheroes were real, how that shit would take a toll on... One, the superheroes, but also, like, the people around them, right? Their relationships, and also definitely the immediate, like, world. Like, we see that shit with freaking Rick this episode. Like, that fool wants to jump off a fucking building because he's obviously been torn apart, rebuilt, and, like, being a victim of the world of superheroes that they live in. Yeah. It's not some shit that we see a lot in superhero medias that are very, like, popular, you know, like with Batman and Superman and all that stuff. Like, it's like, cool, superheroes are great, like, blah blah blah. They beat the villain and they fly away into the sunset at the end of the day. Superman and Lois Lane, everything's fucking great.
Well, what's nice about it is I think that, like, because I will say, just to defend regular superhero media for a second, is like they do this stuff, but they never leave it to the little people. Is that, like, if a superhero ever fucks somebody up in the middle of, like, a fight, they come back as, like, a super villain. Or they're like, they hate them forever now, and then they turn them into their sidekick or whatever, you know? Like, it's always, like, super intensely dramatic, and it has to have, like, multiversal consequences. Versus, like, it's nicer to just see... Or, I don't know about nicer. It's just different, and I think definitely more impactful, I'll say, to, like, have it be what do regular civilians go through. Because that's the complete... It reminds me more of, like, The Boys a little bit, you know? Of, 100%. Diving into...
That's all, folks.
Of, like, diving into, like you said, just, like, the effects in the people around them rather than just the immediate superhero circle. Like, because, like, I think I was not super down with the Rick stuff last week, right? But I was more down for it this time because it got tied more, for me, into Donald stuff a little bit better. And so it's kind of like a dual character development at the same time.
Dude, and I predicted something right with Donald last week.
About how many times he's died.
I was like, dude, what if that's, like, isn't the first time and that's happened hella time? And that fool's hella died 39 times.
Bro, that's crazy. Going on 40.
The ultimate superhero, bro. The fool that's really Donald's putting his life on the line.
I love him.
And then getting rebuilt just to put his life on the line again.
I love it, too, because, like, I want to believe that Donald is, like, a bamf enough to be like, nah, I'm in it for the mission. Wipe my fucking memories. But there is still a little bit in the back of my head that's worried that, like, that was Cecil's plan and not Donald's.
Yeah.
But
Cecil's a manipulator, bro. He can literally just be like, you wanted this, blah, blah, blah.
He knows how to push people's buttons.
Yeah, he could have been like, no, we got to wipe his memory because blah, 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 100%.
But again, I do want to believe that, like, at times I think Cecil always has a heart. I don't think Cecil's a bad person. I think Cecil is just so far beyond and deep into, like, the gray area of stuff that it seems like he's a bad person. But I don't think Cecil's evil. Like, I think he does have good intentions, right? He's just playing chess, is all. He's not treating people as, like, people a lot of the times. They're just, like, pawns in a game for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to believe, though, that Donald is just that fucking down for the cause, that he's like, nah, fuck it, dude. Just don't even give me the trauma. Bypass that shit and let me do it again.
I think so. Like,
I do too.
Because I think that is within Donald's character. Like, he cares about people. Yeah. You know, he really wants the world to be a safer place, at least from what I've gathered, right? So I don't think it's
not a Cecil manipulation.
I mean, it still could be, but I hope don't. It's not,
though. I don't think so either.
Like, I wouldn't discredit that being just part of Donald's character and being like, you know what? Yeah, like because I mean, we see that with the immortal, like the toll, like countless deaths and shit can like take on a person, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And him being so down for his job and the role that he plays in the grand scheme of protecting the earth and shit like that. Like I can see him being like, you know what, like, yeah, wipe my memory because it's going to be too hard for me to freaking think about all this shit and also do the best job that I can do.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the most improbable thing.
Yeah.
I think it definitely is most likely what happened, but there is still that smidge of doubt because Cecil is who Cecil is. You know?
I will. That's one thing. This is 1000% just a pet peeve. Has nothing to do with my enjoyment of the episode whatsoever, but I do want to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is just a me thing, but it pissed me off that the first video Donald clicked on was not like the first video in the list. He goes like way the fuck over to the right and clicks on one way over there, and I'm like, start from the beginning. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, let's see your first death.
I don't know if that was just, again, I don't know if that's just a me thing, but it bothered me. I was like, this is fucking, what are you doing?
That's fucking funny, dude. I think my thing was like my pet peeve of it was how like advances all this technology here.
And he's still on like QuickTime.
No, you don't have like a little preview of like
there's no thumbnail.
Yeah, there's no like little auto-generated thumbnail from whatever fucking computer you're using.
Cecil can teleport around the world, but they can't do thumbnails.
Yeah, you can't give me a little preview like, oh, this is death. Yeah,
it's
like,
already
it's
locked behind a password that only Cecil knows. So like, it's fine. You could put previews, man.
Exactly.
Oh, I put the lighter. Dun dun dun. But yeah, I loved, I think you had started to talk about it last week. I can't remember if we were already recording or not, and I don't know if you talked about it already, but I loved the way the episode opened. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a funny meta joke for sure. At first, it kind of annoyed me a little bit, but once I got over it, I was like, okay, this is clever. But the only reason why it annoyed me at first was because
of the lighter again.
Oh no! Did you just have it too? Oh, there it is. Yeah. No, it's just stoner. That's all. Stoner vibes, bro. But yeah, I think what it was is that like that's a joke that I don't want to hear when the scheduling was such a problem this season. Mm-hmm. You know, like when they're talking about like, this is what we do to make things faster and get things out quicker for you guys. It's like, yeah, we didn't fucking do that this time. You take forever to get this fucking season out, bro. But it was fucking funny. And like, I do think it's cool to give people an insight into it. And then the meta of like Mark being like, wow, I'm going to pay way more attention in season 2 from now on. Yeah. Like that shit's funny. So like I was down for it at the end of it. And it was also just cool to know that like Comic-Con is still a thing. Yeah. When there's real superheroes in the world and shit, you know, like that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny too. I enjoyed that. Sure. I enjoyed that being in there. We got little fucking Oliver, dude, who's freaking
learning real
fucking quick, dude.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna get a time skip from season 2 to season 3. I think Invincible War is gonna happen, and we're gonna jump a little bit.
I don't know, bro. We have one episode left, and I don't think Invincible War is gonna happen in one episode.
It can happen in one episode if they just start at the beginning of the next one. It's just Massacre. It's not like there's a bunch of crazy shit that goes down. It's just that the Invincibles come and fucking wreck Earth, and they barely make it out, and they have to deal with it. I don't know. I don't think it warrants more than one episode. The actual battle itself. If they want to do aftermath stuff or setup stuff within the same season, then I think you could do more than that. But like, I feel like it would be dragged out too long if it was, because the episodes are not short. It's an hour long, right? So like, I don't know. I just think battle stuff and wars and action things in general are better kept like shorter. I don't need like a whole like 2 hours of Invincible War happening, you know?
That's true.
That's like maybe too much to me. So I'd be down if they tried to do... what I would be down for is like, you do Invincible War the entire next episode, and then it ends on a cliffhanger and you don't know if everybody made it out or not. Like you leave it very, very close to the end. But like you're pretty sure that they're fine. Yeah. And then, we come back and whatever they want to do ends up happening.
I could be down for that.
But we'll see. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there has to be, like, a little bit more lead up to Invincible War.
The only thing that bums me out about it is if they're not going to do it for the season finale, why did you set it up at the beginning of this season? That's the only issue for me. Like,
that's true.
They brought Angstrom Levy in the beginning. They showed us that there are alternate Invincibles who are evil and shit like that. And then he's just not in the rest of the season. Then you put him in the cliffhanger before the last episode, presumably, if we only get 8 again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just over. Like, just save all of that for next season. If they don't do Invincible at the end of this one, I think it'll be a waste that they introduced all that stuff in this season, you know?
Yeah, but it's like they really didn't, other than that first episode. Yeah,
but again, that's also just part of my like issue though with the first half of this season is that you remember, it's like the first episode was not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Because it did very much feel like they were trying to be like, oh, don't worry, we have another crazy fucking bloody thing coming up that you can look forward to. But we're not going to get to that right now. And then they just pivot away from that. And it's a bunch of other shit. So yeah, I don't know. I want them to follow through with it within this season. I don't want to wait another 6 months to a year or whatever for them to like make good on it.
I feel you. Like, it would suck to wait, but I just like, as much as I liked the Angstrom stuff at the end, like, I just don't like what we've got from him being the first episode and then like the ends of like a couple episodes.
He's just kind of annoying right now.
Like he's just there. Like, you haven't given me enough to be like, oh yeah, this guy, Invincible hates this guy for X, Y, and Z.
I don't buy it. Yeah.
You know?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't buy that he's like an arch nemesis yet, and he's supposed to be at least for a little bit of time.
Yeah, he's supposed to be one of his, biggest ones. Like,
it's one of his bigger problems.
Like, Mark goes through a very, very drastic change after like his and Angstrom's beef, or opposition comes to like a climax and stuff like that.
Because after everything's over, that's pretty much where Mark is like down with killing after that, right? Or is that no? I guess that's later because that's once Oliver's a little more grown up.
Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily have to know that like spoilers but it's just like
sorry, spoilers.
I don't even know if he's like necessarily down for killing after that. I think it's more so of a, like,
if somebody's too crazy, he's not going to hold back anymore.
Yeah, or not even that, where he's just like tripping out on the fact that he did like kill this person, because like Angstrom Levy's not like invulnerable.
No,
like he doesn't have so Mark was just, I think, more so has like a really big just like conflict within himself after like he kills him, and is just like,
he also doesn't kill him yet though, right? Because I think because if I'm not mistaken, I think Angstrom Levy is around for a little while, and then he comes back to fuck with Mark later, because I'm pretty sure he throws Mark into another dimension when he already has his kid, because he misses like the first 3 years of his baby girl. I think he thinks
he kills him.
Yeah, that's right. And then he's like, or whatever, right? Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I want, it was just, there is too much of that setup happening throughout this season, whether it's that whole first episode or like the little teases we've gotten, to me, for them to not at least like start it. Like, maybe they don't have to finish it, but at the very least, I want the cliffhanger of this to be like, all the Invincibles are coming to Earth. Yeah, and they're about to fuck shit up.
That's what I would.
It has to at least start, because like I need something. I need that to come to fruition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. Very true. Very true. Very true. What the fuck else happened this episode besides like obviously the major shit?
Yeah,
at the end,
I did still kind of have a hard time with the Amber Mark stuff, because I felt like it was just drawn out too long.
I feel that. I know you're gonna.
Yeah, I knew you knew I was gonna say that. Yeah, just because like I was already complaining about it last week, right? And like it felt like what I was not wanting them to do ended up happening. At least it happened a lot quicker than I anticipated. I thought they were gonna drag it out for a lot longer before they did the breakup officially, but I thought it was kind of pointless. Like, a lot of the stuff that she says in this movie that I think are supposed to be like these big, I'm sorry, not movie, in this episode, that are supposed to be like these big impactful moments, still hit because it's Zazie Beetz and she's good at what she does. So it's not anything against the performance, but like, it's not that far off from the conversations that they were already having in the previous episode, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of like a little bit too much. They should have just broken up at the end of the last episode.
I feel it. I can see it from just like just from a progression throughout the show of like, all right, we want to move on from this and that, right? Like we've played this out, but I really appreciate it, because like I feel like that is pretty like realistic, you know?
That they
like,
do try again.
Yeah, especially
Sure.
like in their situation where they don't like hate each other. They don't not love each other. It's just like they are come from two very completely different worlds.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that can happen in the real world, right? Without the whole superheroes and shit like that. But like people that, you know, you really have a like you love each other, but it's just like your lives are going in two different places and you can't be together, and sometimes you fucking try and try and try and try, right? And you get to a point where like something major happens, or you do like finally come to the realization of like, yeah, we can't fucking do this, you know? And it comes in a fucking big way for Amber with fucking Anissa coming to freaking
That's why
Earth,
that's
bro.
why it was hard for me, because like I thought it was better that she came to that conclusion because of the emotional distraught and the personal distraught that came from it because of their relationship. But then it's like, I almost fucking died. I can't be your girlfriend anymore. Sorry. Like, it's all the stuff built up to it for sure. But I would have liked it more if it was the relationship itself and the fact that it was not working. That was the breaking point for them, rather than her life being threatened. Because that's just like superhero 101.
Yeah, but I think that is just like a harsh reality that she hadn't really come to
Contemplated yet.
or
Yeah.
really like maybe she just never thought of, because like Mark is who he is. He's literally invincible. He's strong as fuck. He's the son of
she thinks he's
Omni-Man.
gonna be fine.
Yeah, so like what is there for me to fucking worry about? I'm literally dating the strongest person in the fucking world. Oh wait,
Only this
someone
world, though.
yeah, someone way stronger
Yeah.
just came, and so
Yeah.
there was this reality of like, holy shit,
The universe is a lot bigger.
the universe is a lot bigger, and Mark can't always do what the fuck he needs to fucking do.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely, yeah.
And am I down for it? No. Did it suck that it literally took my life getting threatened to come to that realization? Definitely. But shit, man, there had to be a straw that broke the camel's back, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is the one that did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I get it. But I get
just
what
was-
what you're coming from, though.
It's
Like,
just
it is
hard.
something that it has just been drawn out, and it's just like, right,
It's just twice in a
these
row.
fools need to break up
That's all.
already.
Yeah.
Mark and Eve need to be together because they're obviously perfect for each other.
Well, I don't even need them to be together right now. I just would have liked it. It just felt like twice in a row. That's all. This time, while it was more dramatic and definitely like gave the actors more of a chance to shine, I think, in terms of like how heavy those moments were, because it's nothing against the acting. I think the scene where they break up is super sad and like super good. Like, but they both do a really good job, and it feels like a real breakup. But like, there was nothing new added in my mind, aside from the fact that like, oh yeah, I could die maybe dating a superhero.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, but Amber's a
It's big
smart
thing.
girl, though. Do you think how does she not think about that until somebody has her fucking hand to her neck, you know? Like,
Again, like she
don't
doesn't
wanna
know about
believe, I guess.
Viltrumites really all. I mean,
Yeah.
she does, but it's
Yeah.
just like there was no like, oh yeah, a Viltrumite's gonna fucking come and
Yeah.
threaten to snap my fucking neck. And again, you're fucking dating Mark, who is the son of Omni-Man, who is
Yeah.
the fucking strongest person in the world. Omni-Man's not here making Mark the strongest person. So I
no,
but
I get it.
I get what you're coming from.
I also get where
you're
you're coming from, too. So I understand. It's just, yeah.
It's just not your cup of tea.
No, that's all. I just would have liked it wrapped up a bit sooner. That's
I
all.
feel you.
Yeah. But it's okay, because the rest of the episode was awesome. I liked some of the stuff that they were doing with Rex. I'm continuing to enjoy his character so far. The fact that he feels
Do you like his freaking?
No, not at all.
I loved it.
I
dude.
think it's cool, but I'm like, stay in your lane, bro. That's Spider-Man shit. Unless,
he does that in the comics.
okay, that's fine. But still, if I read that in a comic book, I'd be like, stay in your lane, bro. That's Spider-Man's thing. Unless we get the Spider-Man shit.
We're probably going to, brother. We're probably going.
I don't
to.
think we will.
I think we will eventually, because homie that plays the spectacular, or what's his name?
Josh Keaton.
Josh Keaton.
Yeah.
Was cast as a voice actor. And what else is he gonna? I mean, not that he's not gonna do something else, right? But-
let me say this. I would like to see it. I just have a hard time believing that Disney, not even Disney, Sony has a hard time dealing with Disney and getting Spider-Man deals to work. I feel like it would be kind of a stretch to get them to do something with Amazon.
I think they'd be fucking stupid if they don't.
They certainly would, but Sony has proven to us time and time again that they are fucking stupid.
Yeah,
they don't
they
make
are.
a lot of right choices.
But it's like, this is so blatant, like, one of the best superhero like animated shows to come out.
It's just one of the best superhero
You know.
like IPs right now.
Exactly.
It's just,
Like it would be like it's literally screaming
for crossovers.
for a crossover, and like this will make you some fucking money. I guarantee you.
I will say this. I think that if I'm not mistaken, the Spider-Man crossover that they do in the comic books is not impactful enough that it's going to make a difference if they don't include it. And I will give them slightly more respect for not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in a world that is full of crossovers galore, it's fine if they don't do one.
True.
They're already so
True.
separate from everything that's happening right now. I think it works in their favor to continue to do that. Rather that you're gonna get some haters being like, oh, they fucking need to get Spider-Man on there because this, like, you know, like just don't invite it.
Yeah.
Don't invite it. Just leave it
Yeah.
alone. You already have a really fucking good thing going. So just
No, yeah.
Just
They
do
for
it.
sure don't need Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it would be cool.
It's like extra credit. It's like extra credit on a test, bro. Like that shit's not gonna hurt you great if you get it wrong.
You know
But
what I
it's
would
like, you know.
what I would like is give it to me as a give it to me.
Whoa.
Give it to me. Give me the way that we got the Alan the Alien episode. Give me that as the last half of the last episode of Invincible ever.
With Invincible and Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not chronologically. Like, don't make old Invincible, who's like ancient ruler of the Viltrumites at this point, the one that goes
Crossover with Spider-Man.
No, but just like as a treat within the Invincible animation style. Just be like 15 years ago in an alternate timeline. And then that's a 15-minute sneak peek. I think that would be fun.
That'd be cool.
Just like a nice, fun little send-off for everybody who wants it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. How did you feel about all the Anissa? Like, how did you feel about being introduced to Anissa?
I was scared the whole time because
Dude.
if I'm not mistaken, I was relatively aware that the shit doesn't happen until later, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's after the Viltrumites like get close to being extinct, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, but I was still scared because like they have obviously switched up a lot of things timeline wise, and there was like a scene where I got really fucking scared where like she kicks the fuck out of him or whatever, and like he goes into like the crater, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's like the same setting in the comic books.
Heavy foreshadowing.
Okay, so I was like, and she's like obviously standing over him, right? So I was like, oh no, oh god, oh please. But obviously it doesn't happen yet. I assume it's still going to happen in the show because again, it has pretty serious consequences going forward. But it was good. I liked it. I thought that it was cool. I think we've seen it plenty of times so far that there are people that can obviously take Nolan. Not plenty of times, but like a couple of times at this point, right? That he's not invincible. So it's cool to see Anissa come in and them give like a specific reason why, right? Because like I think Cecil and them are in the fucking command bay or whatever, and they're like, damn, she's fast. Maybe even faster than Nolan was. And I was like, oh shit, that's scary, bro. Holy fuck.
That's hella scary.
Yeah, that's hardcore, right? And she's like obviously just as strong or like, you know, whatever. But it's also just good. I think it's like a double-edged sword because I hate that I enjoy seeing Mark humbled every once in a while because it's one of the best parts of the show because he's the title character and also just because of, you know, knowledge of how everything happens going forward. Like I know that he makes it. So, and I think Robert Kirkman and the showrunners are very aware of the fact that the general audiences or even audiences who are going to watch the videos or even just ask what happened knows that he's going to make it. So it's fun to put him in just like the craziest fucking barely able to make it out scenarios ever. And so it's cool to see him get his shit wrecked by Viltrumites again. Cause like, I don't know, that's just what I want at the end of the day is like, I do like, and I love all of the extra diving deep that they go into of the aftermath of that stuff happens, but it is aftermath. Like I still want, and I'm basically here for like a bunch of crazy fucking hardcore like fight shit, you know? And so the fact that we get more of that, and like you said, have been getting that over like the second half of this season, I think has been awesome, because it shows me that I was worried, I think, that going into the next few arcs of stuff, which are like pretty heavily action packed, like shit just starts hitting the fan left and right from here on out. Like they basically don't get a break until like the end of the series.
Yeah.
So like I was kind of worried that like the pace was going to be off and that like things were going to continue of like this half and half, you know? But I think we've started to get that ramp up in the second half of the season for sure. That like, I'm like, okay, they can do this balancing act well of like giving me the crazy hardcore earth shattering battles that I love and still devoting enough time that it feels impactful, but not so much that I feel like I'm slowing down away from like the stuff that I want to see, like the crazy action stuff or whatever, you know?
Yeah, the past 3 episodes, it's literally been like
Such a good balance.
like 65% like really good character development, and then the last 35% is just super crazy action that doesn't feel out of place. Like that's not action just for the sake of like, oh, it's a superhero show, we got to show some action shit.
Yeah.
It like you're saying is actually very impactful.
It's good shit,
you know?
dude, yeah.
And like, man, bro, the Anissa shit was crazy.
Yeah, she comes in hard for sure.
She comes in so hard, and it's so surprising because I was so invested into the Mark and Amber like date scene. I'm like, all right, because like when Mark and Amber are like doing good, like it's cool to see. I'm like, damn, they're a good couple. It's cute. This is so sweet what they're doing. Like, fuck yeah, let's get to it. So like I'm pretty invested at that moment because they're having a good time. They're like, you're like, okay, like maybe are they gonna make it? Maybe are they gonna, you know, see that like, okay, we can get this worked out, because Mark is telling her like, oh, like I'm gonna get 2 days off during the week and blah 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 and all this different shit. And he's like, oh, should I get a salary? And then all of a sudden you have Mark Grayson. You're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Who's saying this? And she just like comes down and is like, I need to talk to you, blah 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 blah. And if you don't, like, hey, I'm gonna snap this chick's fucking neck right here. And I was like, holy shit. Like I was very like, oh
Puts
my
you on the edge of your
god,
seat,
like
for sure.
is she actually gonna snap this chick's neck right here? Because we've
seen
like,
worse.
we've seen
For
worse,
less.
and we constantly, like, I don't know, I think me and you do this with this show. We're like, no, they're not gonna do this crazy shit, right? And they always do some crazy shit. So at that moment, I'm expecting like, okay, this chick's neck is getting snapped
They are gonna kill
right
her.
now.
Yeah, for sure.
And she doesn't. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah.
I will say with the Inissa character in the comics, she does have like a little gap tooth, and I'm sad that she doesn't have like
In
a
this
gap
one?
in between her 2 front teeth.
It's a bummer.
Like,
Gap tooth can be cute.
dude, I'm pretty down for a chick that has like a nice like little gap in between her 2 front teeth. Like, you know,
I think
it adds a little character.
Yeah,
you know?
sure, for sure.
I'm down
Definitely.
with it.
It's a unique smile.
So I was kind of sad,
They
but
done your girl Nissa wrong.
but they really did. You know, they aren't showing love to all my gap tooth lovely ladies out there. You know what I'm saying? But she was scary, man. She was beating the fuck out of
And not
Mark,
even trying.
and not even trying. And I think one of my favorite scenes is when Mark is trying to fight that big old squid like kaiju monster.
Oh yeah.
And she sees that like, oh, this fool can't handle this shit.
Yeah.
So she just flies straight through the chest of this fucking kaiju and is covered in blood. And just the force of her stop is just so fast that all the blood just freaking flicks off of her.
Crazy.
And that shit was so
definitely
sick,
crazy.
bro. Like that, and when the blood is burning off of like Nolan's hand when he's
when he
flying,
flies into space. Yeah.
those are like, that was very creative.
They got some crazy blood animators in this show, bro.
Straight
for
up.
sure. Yeah. No, that's
some
one of
bloodbenders.
That's one of the things that like I like, and I think I want to see Mark go through in the next season. And it's also why I'm hoping like Invincible War happens sooner rather than later. Is I am starting to get a little tired of Mark's Boy Scout act. Like I'm okay with it up until this point. I'm okay with it up until the end of this season. But from now on, I'm not going to have a good time if he's still trying to be like moral high ground all the time. Because I think that's one of the best parts of his... Not that I'm saying I need him to be evil or anything like that, but I need him to start crossing that threshold now of like You're not gonna punch everybody into being nice, dude.
Yeah.
If there's a giant fucking monster attacking he can easily fly through that thing.
Yeah.
He just chooses not to
100%.
because he doesn't want to be his daddy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it up until now, but from now on, I need Mark to realize it's not fucking playtime anymore, bro. Like, you got to come to fucking ball. Like, you better be ready to take some homies out because they're going to do the same thing to you and everybody you love. Like,
exactly.
So I want to see where they go with the next episode for sure, because I think they will start to introduce some of that stuff, hopefully. Obviously, Oliver and his mom are on the line now, which is a very hardcore whiplash back-to-back for the poor kid.
Yeah.
His girlfriend was just threatened by a Viltrumite.
So she broke up with him.
And now his mom and his little half-brother are threatened by the arch-villain that he created.
So
back
crazy.
for vengeance. Yeah, so definitely some hardcore shit going down, and I'm excited to see where it goes, because, yeah, I think that's one of the more interesting things about Mark as a superhero is that his fully evolved form is not like a typical Superman or Spider-Man where he's just gotten so good at his job that he can stop the bad guys all the time and retain the moral high ground. It's that he has been so broken down over this like intergalactic war with the Viltrumites that he is now okay and willing and accepting of the fact that he's like a soldier, like a super soldier in this shit. And he'll do what it takes to keep his people and like ultimately the earth safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I want to start seeing that transition a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't need him to be whiny Mark anymore. I want him to be, let's get some shit done, Mark.
You fool. This isn't even my final form.
Yeah, dude, he's got to evolve. He's not there yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have the blue suit.
He really does. But I mean, I think that's just like main character syndrome type shit. Is where like they are, like, even, you know, Mark does change eventually, but like, you know, part of their characteristic as a main character is just like they're always the moral high ground.
Yeah.
Not that we don't have those characters, right? But
No, they have
mainly
to
in
be the good
superhero
guy,
properties,
Yeah.
you know, especially ones that are very much like Superman. Like,
Yeah.
it's moral high ground.
Yeah.
We don't kill. We don't do
Yeah.
this. But yeah, it is interesting having Mark, who is a character like Superman that is invulnerable, that really can't die, but like going up against people that are threatening different aspects in his life, like threatening the lives of people that are like the closest to him, right? And it's just like, yeah, he is eventually gonna have to go flip that switch and be like, fuck, dude, like, yeah, I just can't beat everybody into being good, and like, I have to freaking,
it's not gonna happen.
might have to kill a motherfucker here and there.
Exactly.
And hey, I'm cool with that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
it
cool
works
with
for
that.
this world, I think, because like the threats are so much more. Like the Viltrumites are 1,000 times worse than like the craziest villain in any Marvel or DC property.
Yeah.
Just a regular Viltrumite, not even like the bad ones.
Yeah.
You know, like they're all just sadistic, super evil Superman.
Yeah.
That can just tear planets apart.
They're like, oh, Doomsday? Yeah, I'll just rip that fool's head off.
exactly. Like that's
I'll
the
rip that fool's arms off, and then I'll rip his head
just
off.
punch through his chest really quick.
Yeah.
Like no, like crazy shit, right? So like it makes it so that the lowest ground that will be considered moral high ground can like go lower because of how fucking low the evil standards go
Yeah.
in the show. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like Mark can do crazier shit like killing his enemies or whatever he ends up like crossing the line and shit of doing, and it's still in the scenario it's technically still like a moral high ground, you know, because the stakes are different. Your
Very
main
true.
characters can actually die. Like they're not just going to be fine and get resurrected 10 years later in the Flashpoint shit or whatever, you know? Like,
Yeah.
if they die, they're fucking dead. Like, that's it. And they're
Yeah.
getting their heads chopped off and shit, not fucking
Very true.
disappearing into the Speed Force.
Yeah. I like Anissa's move of when she fucking like kicks down, like she flies down, she fucking
Yeah.
just kicks and she's
It just literally looked like a Smash Bros. Super, bro. Like, that shit was insane.
a
Like, all the
down
screen,
beat. It
they
just
had
looked like a down beat.
Dude, they had like the fucking like hit frame in the back where like everything went black for a second. It was like, "Kakoosh." I was like, whoa.
Dude.
Yeah, anime as fuck, bro.
It was sick.
That shit
dude.
was dope.
It was nice getting like a Viltrumite fight again.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Anissa just freaking beating the fuck out of
Yeah.
him, dude.
Well, so that was the other thing too that I really liked about showing the difference in power level again between Viltrumites and where Mark is at right now,
Mm-hmm.
and what they did with the end credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it does a cool surprise twist. I mean, if you're not familiar with stuff, obviously, like a surprise twist, power level increase again of when you see Alan come back at the end.
Yeah.
Because that shit was sick, bro.
Dude,
when
yeah.
he flies in, he's just like, oh, fuck, when the Viltrumite shit pulls up next to right. And then, like, Anissa comes out, who, again, we just saw beat the living shit out of Mark without breaking a sweat. Like, get her shit rocked by, like, the first punch that Alan throws. And he
starts bleeding.
Yeah. Like, when do you ever see a Viltrumite bleed other than other Viltrumites? You don't.
Never.
Not at all.
And she's tripping out hard.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck? There's no Unobin this strong or whatever, right? And he's literally so OP now that he just fakes getting knocked out by fucking Viltrumite's punch. He's just like, fucking, like, I was like, what the fuck, bro? Because, like, I knew Alan got a power increase, but even still, that is a good and effective, like, shock of, like, damn, this fool's fucking ripped now, bro. Like, this dude's OP on another level. Like, at this point, I would assume he is probably even stronger than Omni-Man, right?
I don't know.
At least as strong. Maybe there's, like, the speed versus strength difference between, like, Anissa and Omni-Man, right? Like, Anissa's faster, but that means Omni-Man's a lot stronger than she is.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can take a hit from a main character Viltrumite and just be like, yeah, I'm cool, it's fine. Like, I think he's pretty good against the rest of them. Like, later on, the only one who really gives him trouble is Thrag, right?
Yeah.
So he can take Omni-Man because Thrag is stronger than Omni-Man.
Oh, 100%.
So, like, Alan is, in this moment, I think the strongest character in the show.
Probably.
Until Thrag comes along and gets introduced, like, I'm pretty sure he's the strongest.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just tough because it's like, I don't know if we've, like, when we've seen Omni-Man just, like, not hold back.
Yeah, he hasn't gone full Omni-Man yet.
He, like, was just beating the fuck out of those Viltrumites, like, on freaking.
Yeah,
on
that's
Thraxa,
true. And that's only a glimpse.
Yeah.
Like, I feel, because he was also trying to keep Mark alive, too.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to go, like, full, like, battle mode, like warrior style.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be, like, one of the greatest of all time, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But they also fight together, so we don't really see them fight each other after this.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the Omni-Man and Alan the alien shit that we're gonna get.
Yeah, because they work together to break out, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's gonna.
They
be
become
cool.
like really good homies because they're just like sitting there fucking talking in jail and shit like that.
That's probably gonna be the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume.
We'll
probably get a back and forth of that, and then the Angstrom Levy stuff on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume.
Yeah, very true.
That's what I think is gonna happen.
Very true.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, this was just another fucking banger.
Another hitter.
The penultimate episode.
Yeah.
Of Invincible. I'm excited.
I'm sad. I am excited, but I'm sad because it's like, fuck, we just got it. It feels like we just got it back again.
I know.
Because it was, the second half and it's like already gone. Yeah. So it's a bummer, but it is what it is. I am hooked and very, very excited. And I'm hoping that they make good on their promise that the gap's not going to be as long. Because, I believe them, but you never know what happens. Shit happens sometimes. You might have to delay. I believed that we were going to already have seen Beyond the Spider-Verse at this point. True. And that got delayed. So
yeah.
Isn't that a bummer? I saw that floating around the other day. The original release date for part 3 was March 29th. We were supposed to have gotten it already, like last week.
Yeah, I never
It's hard to get mad at delays nowadays. Yeah. Because most of the time, at least from good studios like that and like good projects like this, they're doing it to make shit better.
It's hard to get mad at delays for those reasons, but also like when they put out when a studio puts out a date for a movie like 4 years in advance, I never think we're gonna get it on that date.
Yeah.
Like I'm never like, oh yeah, that's the fucking day.
Well, I was just hooked because like homies in interviews for the last movie were still kind of talking about it like it was supposed to come out. Like they were like, yeah, we're finishing up our voice lines, blah blah blah, this and that. Like we're almost ready to go and stuff like that. And maybe that was just them not being kept in the loop.
Probably.
So it's not their fault, But
like that's such like
hopeful.
That's such a big machine. Like making an animated movie like that. There's so many moving parts to that. We're like, the voice acting being like a main part of that movie is also probably in the process like such a small and like minuscule part compared to like
everything else,
all the animations and all the layers and everything that they have to fucking do.
They probably
like,
do their stuff in like a couple of weeks overall.
Yeah.
And
they're like, all right, later. And then all the other fucking animators are just like there to slave over freaking everything else.
I just thought, again, like, I don't know. If you're making an animated movie and your initial shot is within a year or two, you're making them at the same time, right?
I mean,
I feel it's like it's a Lord of the Rings situation. I don't think, if it comes out anywhere within the next 2 years, I feel like they had to have been making them at least together. Maybe not from the beginning at the same time, you know? But like, no way you pump another one of those out. And like, if they just started after this last one came out on Christmas, we're not getting the third one for like another 5 years, 4 years, the same way the gap was last time.
Maybe, yeah.
Because like we're saying, animated movies take a long time. I think even if you look back at like the older ones, like Pixar movies, at least sequels, are spaced pretty far and few in between. It's not like they're coming out like every year.
Yeah, I think the gap also from 1 to 2 is probably a lot different than 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Because it's like 1, you come out with 1 and it's like, okay, if that does well enough, then we can go ahead for number 2.
Versus they already knew 2 and 3.
As if you're making 2, they're probably going into it with the plan of 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You know?
I think they literally greenlit 2 and 3 after the first one came out anyways. Yeah. But yeah, I'm hyped. Did you see the little short that they put out?
I didn't watch it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked it, yeah. It definitely is not anything to do with like the story that they left off of in terms of like the plot. But it is a cool little thing about like Miles's anxiety as Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's about how he's like dealing with all of that stuff and, you know, whether or not he's willing to like reach out about help for it and stuff like that. So it's cool.
Damn.
But it's very like abstract.
Okay.
It's not like a ton of dialogue. It's like mostly just like sequel. It's mostly just like a lot of like scenes of Miles being sad, and then like a really cool trippy sequence where he has like a freak out, and they do it like in a comic booky Spider-Man way, and then the resolution. It's like 7 minutes long. Okay. But it's cool. I would recommend watching it.
Hell yeah.
Unless you have a phobia of spiders, because it is freaky.
Oh, I don't like spiders.
Yeah, it's
not that I
freaky.
would say I have like a phobia of spiders, but I just don't really fuck with spiders. Like
I'm not really like that worried about spiders. Like I'm fine with, you know, crushing them or putting them in a cup and moving them outside. Like I can deal with them or whatever. But this still had me like crawling in. Like this shit was still, I was like, ooh, no, that's creepy. Like it was crazy. It was good shit.
I don't,
because it's
like
animation
spiders.
too. Okay. You know? So they can make it freakier.
Yeah, I don't like spiders. I don't like spiders.
I hate spiders.
I hate spiders.
What does they say? Yeah, when they go in the fucking what's that forest called? The Forbidden Forest,
the Forbidden
right?
Forest, yeah. The forest you don't go and do.
Harry.
I don't like spiders.
Don't like spiders.
Yeah. No, I when I was younger, I definitely used to be like very scared of spiders, where I was just like, yeah, someone needs to come kill this shit. But like now, like I'll kill it, or I'll like, I have since also moved to, depending on the size of the spider, right? Like if it's a small spider, I'll take it outside.
Cup it,
yeah, cup it, take it outside. Homie has a family. But if you're a big scary looking spider, I'm gonna murder your ass, and I don't care. You know what some people are out there gonna be like, oh, you kill spiders? Yeah, I do.
I think it's fine. There's enough of them out there, probably.
Yeah,
unless they're going.
They live like a year and a half. Like they don't.
Yeah,
live
they're
very
gonna
long.
die pretty quick. Yeah, I think I can't remember if it's like spiders or mosquitoes, but one of the two I've heard you don't kill them instantly if you have like a bunch of other annoying insects in your house. So if you get like a bunch of flies or like little critters,
probably spiders, because spiders eat that shit.
Yeah, so I think they just are like cleanup crew for you. They'll handle the business for you.
Mosquitoes, you fucking kill those motherfuckers.
Mosquitoes are annoying. I hate mosquitoes.
They're gross, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, they just handle business, bro. Spiders are just taking care of the corners of the house for you now.
I funk with the jumping spider. Like when I grow,
oh, those are scary.
And those are in like the garden or whatever. Like I fuck with those heavy, because those, they'll eat all the bugs and shit like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so, there you go. They're homies.
Yeah, I'll see one. I'm like, hey man, tell your homies like you guys can stay here for free. Like there's food and everything. Just like
take care of the bugs for me. You guys are all good.
So yeah, they're a good like natural pest management.
Yeah.
If you,
I will say too, of like all of the, well, I guess they're arachnids. They're not insects, but like of all of the smaller bug-like people, they're like the least annoying. Flies, fucking annoying.
yeah,
Mosquitoes, fucking annoying.
any flying insect is just annoying.
Yeah, the worst.
Gnats, they're so small, but they're
Terrible.
so annoying.
So annoying. Spiders, they're cool.
Yeah,
They just hang out in the corner.
yeah, they do.
Sometimes they crawl a little too close to your shit.
They just look scary.
They
bro.
do.
They
look
just
the
don't
scariest
look
out of all
like.
of them. Yeah. They're just hairy and they got all them legs and the beady.